You son of a biscuit! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Friendsim for a little bit of a bonus episode here, because a lot of people are saying, well, you're missing out on like half the game if you don't see the bad endings. And because I didn't see every single bad ending in the game, this is where we go into now. Everything from the first bad decisions to the second bad decisions. Hopefully I won't be here for too long. I have a list of stuff on a clipboard that's right in front of me, so we gotta start all the way back in Volume 1 with our data. And go. And this shall be my friend. Okay, so we want the bad ending for this one, which sounds fine, I guess. The real trouble will be remembering exactly what each of the characters are supposed to sound like. Okay, but let's go. Let's go. Get the hell out of my face and never come back. Hey, that was fast. Okay, we are done with Volume 1. Okay, back we go. Volume 2. Blah, blah, blah. We gotta go to Amesia. The smallest little, the smallest indigo of them all. There we go. Okay, we already got the bad ending on this one because I was like totally all like, hey, fellow artist, and she's like, no. So no, we suck at art. We're the worst. And now, instead of dancing around the room with her, we're gonna be chill. You thank Amesia profusely, but you manage to keep it to a strict verbal sort. Medicalizers are great. This part of the city is great. You really need to get more rich friends. You tell her this, throwing in a compliment of her studio while you're at it. See, this friendship stuff is easy. I'm glad you feel that way. You're obviously really strange and under-socialized, but you don't seem to be a complete cultural idiot. Plus, I think it's really endearing how helpless and trusting you are. You laugh, slightly unnerved. You want to take that as a compliment, but after a recent encounter with another girl in blue... Well, it all ended up okay, and Amesia is so nice and friendly, and she keeps calling you cute, which you think is pretty generous of her considering of what a disgusting mess you are at this point. Speaking of low bloods, what's your blood color? Just out of curiosity. Blood color? You aren't really sure what she's talking about, but red? You tell her it's red. She looks a little disappointed. I've got plenty of burgundy. Oh well. Good thing I have a delivery coming soon. Hey, do you think you can help me set a few things up before they get here? They? Visitors. As in plural? As in multiple potential friends? Oh, hell yes. You are all over that, especially considering your newly healed arm. You're anxious to display all the simple motor functions you can perform. Amesia gives another radiant smile. You live for those smiles, man. They're just so full of glowing nectar of bromance. Perfect. Let's do this. Work always goes faster with two pairs of hands after all. Yes. Absolutely it does. And even if by that she seems to mean her hands are pointing while she tells you where to put things, you're totally fine with that. Your ribs are still kind of killing you, but you swallow down the pain. You're getting pretty good at that. Too bad you can't stick your whole torso into that magic science fiction hole in the wall. Well, maybe you could, but not right now. Right now you've got a friend to help. Amesia instructs you to clear all the furniture to the edges of the room and lay down a big purple tarp. Apparently tarps aren't blue on this planet. I'm just because it's part of a tent and only high bloods are really into tents. And by that I mean purple bloods. I hate the fact that I have to, like, differentiate the two now. That high bloods are like indigo and up, and purple bloods are just part of the high bloods. But everybody in the comic was calling purple bloods high bloods. Okay. Sorry. Amesia answers her phone and then buzzes open the apartment door. She runs over to the elevator with a squeal of delight. They're here! Sorry I'm getting so giggly about this. It's just been a while since I've had any new paints. Wait, paints? That's what's coming? Now that you think about it, there is something pretty crucial missing from this whole artist aesthetic. What she's got going here? There aren't any paints. What do you call the things in the background there? No tubes dribbling color or pots with their tops left partially unscrewed. There aren't even any pencils. The elevator opens and two trolls come in. They have pretty similar shaped horns and they're almost the exact same height. Brothers? Do trolls have brothers? From their uniforms and the terrible swaggering way they walk, you get the idea that they're from some sort of law enforcement. Are they Dutch? Sorry. That and the third troll in handcuffs they're dragging between them. Thank you, guys. You always bring me the best materials. They don't say anything. They just bring the third troll in the center of the tarp and force them in a kneeling position. Then they bow to Amesia and leave the way they came. This doesn't look great, even before Amesia runs out of the room and comes back in with an axe the size of her whole body. You're not loving this. The troll on the tarp trembles and bites back a sob, but they don't say anything or try to run. She isn't really gonna do what it looks like, is she? You can't bring yourself to believe this cute little alien girl is gonna straight up axe murder a dude right in front of you, presumably to finger paint with their blood. You stammer something to this effect. Amesia laughs. Well, I don't use my fingers. I'm not an animal. She considers you for a moment, tapping the claw against her mouth. I know. You can help me. I only ever let one other person help me with my work, and she's out of town right now. Chahut, or however her name's actually supposed to be pronounced, because it's French, and everyone knows Jen can't speak French. Anyway. But you and I have a connection. You feel it too, right? You do. Oh, yes, you do. You've been feeling it so much lately. For everyone you meet, you thought that you had maybe come across someone who would readily accept your platonic longings without putting you through the ringer first. You do want to help me, don't you? You do. You want that more than anything. Amesia looks at you solemnly. Why don't you do the honors? She holds out her axe. I wouldn't offer this to just anyone, but I can tell how special you are. You're trembling. The troll on the tarp is also trembling, but unlike you, they seem to have accepted their fate. Slowly, inevitably, you hold out your hand for the axe. Amesia gives it to you with a smile. Dang it, you forgot about your broken ribs and that you're human and you can't pick up gigantic axes with one hand. You drop it and it bounces away from you, like way more than you think an axe should probably bounce. You look up at Amesia from where you're doubled over in pain and shame. She laughs and scampers over to retrieve the axe, once again swinging it up without any signs of strain. She doesn't even have any visible muscles. What is this girl made of? How silly of me! You seem so culturally advanced for that for a second. I forgot about your natural inferiority. Oof. Here, I'll give you a second chance. You nod. Yes, please. A second chance that does not include committing gruesome murder. Usually I just use chains. But I've got a better idea. Oh gosh. You get what she wants you to do. You hesitate and Amesia's smile gets even sweeter. Sweet like poison. Oh? You don't want to help me? The tarp crinkles underneath as you kneel. You grasp the troll's shoulders and mumble an apology. They continue to say nothing. Amesia is sharpening her axe, which already looks pretty dang sharp. Hold on tight. You try. You really do. The problem is you try to hold on tight, but at the same time you try to drag the troll out of the way. Some buried instinct trying to preserve life rising up inside you. You're weak and injured, though, so all you end up doing is just flopping both of you a little to the side. Oh, I guess it was It was an olive... Hey, an actual olive blood boy. How about them apples? Okay. Instead of coming down on the neck of a clean slice, Amesia's axe glances off the troll's collarbone, mortally wounding them instead of killing them outright. And now you know why they'd not have been begging for their life. They don't have a tongue, so they can't beg, but they can sure yell and thrash and bleed olive green alien blood all over you and the tarp. Oh man, there's so much blood, it's just splurting everywhere. Jeez, you're such an idiot, why couldn't you just commit? Now you're covered in dying alien, and so is everything else. Amesia, the work table, most direly the canvases, leaning against the wall. Amesia takes one look at them and lets out a wail of rage. I can't believe this! I let you into my hive, into my life. I was planning to let you into my pusher. I thought you were a refined sophisticate, but now I see you're just a Philistine. She gives you a shove towards the elevator. Your ribs are screaming, and so is the bleeding troll. You try to babble an explanation. Forget it. I don't want to hear your excuses. Chahat was right. If you want someone to killed right, you have to kill them yourself. You ride the elevator back down, kneeling in a pool of blood and failure. Terrible at murder. Okay. That's the Amesia one. Now we got one for Sarova, and it's like the very first one, so I'm not too worried. Sarova. Skip. What the heck is Moisture Wave? If you don't even know Moisture Wave, can't really see why I would want to be friends. Why you would want to be friends with me, LMAO. Cause TBH, I don't even know how to explain it to you. You just have to get it. Sarova considers you for a long moment. Actually, yeah. This isn't gonna work out. Get out of my hive. Thrown out. Okay. We already got the other bad one where Sarova, where we stole his look, and that was bad. Okay, on to volume 3. We got to go with Skyla. And forget the shimmer. And honestly, you should have seen this one coming. We burned. Okay. Back we go. Should have just saved. This would have saved me so much time. Now we know. To the shimmer. Whoa! And we stop her. Skyla is bigger than you, and she has the strength of both desperation and a superior genome, so you don't feel great about your chances, but you have to give it a try. Skyla is too upset to be careful. You have to stop her from hurting herself. You stumble into her house all gross and pathetic and alien, and she didn't turn you away. She gave you pancakes, for Christ's sake. Grub cakes, whatever. And it isn't just the sun. From the number of voices, there's got to be 20 people out there. She doesn't stand a chance. You run up behind her and hook your arms under hers, hauling her back by the armpits. She struggles, jabbing her elbow into your aching ribs. Let me go! You don't understand, they'll take her! Lady! You hold grimly on, going limp and using gravity on your dead weight to pull her down to the floor. Through wheezing breaths, you tell her she can't go out there. Didn't she just tell you that you'd never have survived if it hadn't been later than dawn? You probably aren't making much sense, but you kept a stream of worthless bullcrap until something catches. Would your Lucis really want this for you, Skyla? Would Lady really want you to sacrifice yourself for her? Skyla goes rigid, and then all the fight just drains out of her like blood from a drain. She sags back into your arms. The two of you watch Lady thrashing in a huge black net as several of her figures haul her away. The sun is too bright to see them clearly, but they appear to be herding more white creatures out of the paddock and into a collection of vehicles. The herd. she says so quietly you feel it more than you hear it. You continue to watch as Lady is picked up into one of the vehicles and they drive away, kicking up clouds of dust that glimmer in the brutal sun. You can let me go now. I'm not going to throw myself out into daylight like a romance novel heroine. You realize just how tight you're holding onto her and loosen your arms, pulling away and sitting up. Skyla's cheeks are wet with tears, but she quickly shakes her hair to her face to hide it. That makes your heart hurt. You want to tell her that everything's going to be okay, but you make it a point not to lie to your friends. You have absolutely no idea how it's going to be. But before you say anything, she gets up and disappears through a door and further into the house. Give her some space. I'm sorry, what was that? You decide to mind your own business. Well, you do try the door, but it's locked. Best to keep occupied and do what you can for her. First, you shut the door to keep that sweltering heat and blinding light out. Then you tidy up the kitchen a little. Everything in here is oddly textured and colored. The shape's unusually organic. Some of it is worryingly scuttly and alive. You do your best. You mop up the syrup and straighten the chairs. You're trying to figure out how to get to the sink to spit out some water into the dirty dishes. When Skyla comes back out, her eyes are dry and her hair is combed back out of her face. Don't you worry about that. You're gonna break something. She plays with one of her beaded bracelets with a nervous little fidget of her fingers. I could have never taken those fellas by myself, especially not in broad daylight. I want to thank you for stepping in and stopping me. I was overwrought. You nod, accepting her thanks. She doesn't seem overwrought anymore, just numb. Wow, this is actually a legitimately terrible situation. Not even a dumb, zany way like all the other horse crap stuff that could have happened to you recently. You wonder who those guys even were. Lucis slaves. They've come before, but they always come at night and never in such large numbers. So Lady and me could always take 'em. I never expected anything like this. For them to come out in force like this in the middle of the day. She sits down at the table, putting an elbow in a patch of syrup you missed. You offer her a dishcloth and notice several little discolored patches on her arm. It looks like she got burned just from having her arm out of the door for a minute and a half. You're really glad you didn't let her go all the way out there. You endured a lot of heinous stuff in your short span on this planet. Injuries, and lots of added insults to those injuries. But the time you got to spend with Skyla waiting for the sun to go down is some of the worst and most hopeless. You don't know what to say to help her. You aren't actually her friend. You aren't even the same species. The Troll-Lucis relationship is a little confusing, but they seem to be some combination of caretaker and pet. More symbiotic than parent and child. Symbiotic. Finally, it gets late enough to venture outside, and you follow Skyla out to the empty paddock. There's nothing out there but a broken fence and trampled ground. Lots of kids lose their loci. It's just part of life. I would have been heading into the ordeals next sweep anyway. I would never have seen her again. But at least I would have gotten the chance to say goodbye, you know. It's kind of a bummer how resigned everyone on this planet seems to... Okay. It's kind of a bummer how resigned everyone on this planet seems to horrible things happening. Then again, you guess this sort of true on your planet too. Existence, just a mess. You try to give her the most understanding look you can. It's just a really good supportive friend face. You're killing it. But Skyla isn't paying attention to your glowing facade. She's reaching into her jacket and pulling out her phone. What the hell? My palm husk is blowing up. Oh gosh. Skyla drops her phone in the dirt and claps a hand over her mouth. Her eyes sparkle with tears. You pick it up. It's kind of squishy and squirms in your hand a little, which you don't love. You also don't love what's on the screen. It's a troll in a mask holding a gun on Lady, who's still in the net, baring her teeth. The gun looks fake, kind of like a Nerf gun. You bet it's not a Nerf gun. The photo is occupied by more than of the spiky text you can't read. Hey, how can you understand the Alternian spoken language but not the written? You decide not to think about it too hard. Waste of time. They sent a ransom demand. They say if I can't pay, they'll sell her. Troll-Luci are valued for their strength all over the galaxy. The heiress knows about the black market, but she doesn't do anything about it. She just takes a cut. You ask her how much the ransom demand is for, as if you had a penny to your name. You tell it. She tells you a number that sounds stupidly large, even without knowing the exact rate of Earth money. They're just mocking me. They know a bronze blood can't afford this. They just want to force me to fail her one more time. Her voice breaks on a sob. You reach over and put your hand on her arm. She looks at you with a big watery eyes and you brace for her to fall into your arms sobbing. You're actually kind of hoping for it. Not that you're the type to want to profit off another's pain, but you're pretty sure that offering comfort in a time of crisis is a first-class ticket to Friendsville. Instead, Skyla gives you a hard shove backward. You take 2 stumbling steps and fall on your butt. Something swishes underneath you. A cow pat or something alive. You aren't sure which you'd prefer, honestly. Sorry. I didn't actually push you that hard. Your species just seems pretty flimsy. I don't want sympathy right now. Especially not from you. She stands framed between 2 moons, some trick of the perspective making her look just as distant and just as sad. Not that moons are inherently sad. Whatever, that's not the issue right now. Has Skyla been lying to you before when she said she doesn't blame you? She even thanked you for stopping her from killing herself. Nah, I don't blame you. I can't stand the sight of you. Looking at you just reminds me of losing Lady, and I don't think that'll ever change. Sorry. I really was hoping we could be friends. It's been a really long time since I've seen anybody out here that goes on 2 legs instead of 4. But I just don't think it's gonna work out. If you start walking now, you can probably make it to the city before sunrise. Or there's a jade blood colony nearby if you want to inflict your personal brand of assistance on them. Bye. You leave with your proverbial tail between your legs, and the last glimpse you get of Skyla, she's standing next to the empty paddock, staring at the ground. Dun dun! She's crying white tears. What is this? Okay, that's Act 3 done. So now we know that there's a black market that the heiress knows about. Okay. Clickety click. Clackety clack. Going to chapter 4. Not looking back. Friendship. Okay, we got 2 things for Tagora. So, skippity doo. Well, that's a lot of racking up stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna save over this one. Ask him if he does pro bono. You thank him profusely for his offer to help you and explain that while your situation hasn't exactly left you very rich, you'll pay him back in glorious friendship, the most infinite of resources. You lay it on thick. He seems like a guy who can appreciate a good deal when he sees one, and you can't imagine a better deal than this. You both reach both arms up, waiting for him to scoop you up out of the pain plant like a gentle baby you are. Sorry, I don't do charity. Such a shame, too. I was hoping to work with an alien might make for a more interesting day than usual. Negative 900. You're not worth it. Turns on the heel, walks away, high ponytail swishing behind him. Friendship's not a currency. Load back from here. Okay, heaps of money. And no entrapment, please. You tell him that you'd rather stay away from any and all traps if that's all right. You mentioned that you think it's better move for both of you. Something tells you that this guy wants to know what's in it for him. Probably all the times he said explicitly that. You have that vibe going after all. He taps a claw on his chin and looks you up and down. He takes his time. You try not to blush, no matter how exacting his gaze is. You present a solid case. You make your whole look as more than a bit of a repellent, but it may make the pitiable lost alien angle more emotionally effective. You look like you just got run over. Frown. It takes you a second to realize he isn't just saying his physical emotive response. Instead of just doing it with his face, he's giving you a direction. You stick your lower lip out and try to look as pathetic as possible. Yes, this is really working for me. It's awful. Completely repugnant. Your general squalor should function as a simple manipulation technique, no matter which direction I decide to spin it. The praise makes it hard to keep frowning, but you do your best to keep it up. You even hunch over a bit and shamble a few meager steps towards him. Great, yes. That's enough, no need to come any closer. Seriously, you smell terrible. Okay then, we'll skip the hygiene and get straight to the best part. Bureaucracy. Stay there and don't get any of your crusty alien orifices near my decor. I'll go print our contract and we can move on. Reimbursement for the ink. You pretend you're a statue when he types things and prints the typed things and staples the printed things. His ferret Lucis stares at you with beady interest. You stare back and completely motionless. You wonder how often Gorgor has friends over. He brings the packet over to you and hands you a pen. Read this. Or don't. Sign it either way. It's a standard legislator agreement, tweaked a bit to accommodate your particular situation. Oh, I'm not reading all that, am I? Okay, you agreed to submit your testimony to be judged and will accept whatever subjugulation you receive. You will recognize any potential winnings are to be remitted to me for processing through a local account before your portion can be dispensed to you. In the event of your culling, I will act as executor of your accounts, blah, blah, blah. Same old business. I'm sure this is the same where you're from. There are stars in the place where you initial. Shrunken text expense. That is sure a lot of stuff that you just got told real fast. You're trying to listen, really, but he winked at you early on in this monologue, and it really is distracting because you couldn't stop thinking about if you should incorporate a wink into the secret handshake, maybe. Anyway, regular legal jargon, yeah, just like all the other times you clicked when you say you read the terms and conditions on any harmless old social media app. This stuff never ends up being relevant. Whew. You show off your exquisitely polished John Hancock as many times as it takes. Excellent, excellent. Everything's in order, then. Are you ready to head out? Oh, like now? Now? You're not ready. Do you look roughed up enough? Will your bones need to go through a little more ordeals? What's a subjugulator? Does Takora? No sweep like the one you're in, as they say. Swear jar. Pardon the language, it's an idiom. It means it's time to go. Watch the language. You follow him out about as apprehensively as you followed him in. As you retrace the path you took not too long ago, it occurs to you to wonder where this glorious feat of justice is going to take place, and if anyone is going to subpoena the idiot that hit you. Is that even a thing here? You skip to match Tagora's pace and ask. There's no real need for you to worry about that. It's for me to deal with. I saw the perpetrator, of course. Seems prudent to pin the crime on them when the time comes. I'll have more than enough credible evidence to condemn them. The blood cast should be sufficient, but it seems worth it to call in their dented scuttlebuggy. I can certainly do that as well. Bonus for potential frame job. Of course, that's not the only way we can spin this. It may not be necessary to involve them at all. Don't bother worrying about that either. You definitely still keep worrying about that, but you nod and keep walking like you're not bothered. You want to match his level of easy confidence. It's almost comforting to be around it now that you've spent some time with him. It's simple. You're still basking the ease of being told what to do when the whole vibe flips over on its butt so fast you feel it like ice down your back. You look at Tagora first. He stopped walking and his posture somehow gets straighter. Even his cute little ponytail thing looks alert. He's staring at the approach of another troll, a blue guy. You know that means high blood, but not much out what that entails, aside from what you're picking up on the full hair-on-end cat reaction old Gorgor next to you. Pleasant evening, sir. His voice gets somehow sweeter and more professional at the same time. You recognize what he's feeling because you felt it in yourself the whole time you've been on this forsaken planet. A deep, all-consuming thirst for approval. He's gunning hard for this business boy friendship. The high blood, however, is not. At first you think he might be chill because his smile gets huge, and hell, if you're not loving getting smiled upon. You start to introduce yourself until Tagore shoots you a "be cool" look, and then that you learn that this guy's smile is not the nice kind. So is this Gallic speaking? So let's try to give him a voice for Gallic. What's this, he asked. Gorgor picked up a little friend? It's not. We have a working relationship. You try not to let his dismissal of your friendship sting. You're not there yet. It's okay. You want to be helpful, so you put on your best injured face and start hobbling in a circle, twisting your neck at the most grotesque angle you can manage without actually hurting yourself. You groan pitifully about all your bones. Oh, right, your booming drone-pursuing business. This client you have here looks extra crappy. Good luck getting anything good for whatever this mutant is that you scraped up from the gristle grate. If you take a moment to consider the potential... The blue guy rolls his eyes and keeps walking, elbowing his way right between the two of you on his way past like you're nothing. Tagore freezes. His eyes stay fixed ahead of him where the blue guy was just standing. It's like he hasn't even processed the movement yet, even though he got knocked a few steps back in its wake. He starts shaking. Yikes, that was tense. You want to say something reassuring to Tagore, but he has a kind of ascended to another plane of existence. Maybe a nice, reassuring pat on the shoulder will help diffuse the mood? You put a ginger hand on the mere vicinity of his body, and he whirls to face you, eyes narrowed and breathing heavily. You snatch your hand back fast. Mistake! Do you have any idea how rare that networking opportunity was? Do you realize what you... Damages slide down the antisocial ladder. No, of course you don't. You don't know anything. You're just a weird little hornless thing who doesn't even know how to cross the street. Swear jar. He starts laughing all high-pitched and weird. Up until now he seems so slick, so unflappable, that Gorgor is hard to reconcile with the one pacing back and forth, hollering and grabbing at his face. He's pretty flapped. Oh boy, you really screwed up, huh? Maybe your busted neck routine was not convincing enough, or too convincing? Either way, you figure now might be the time to bow out before this scene really blows up. You tell him so. Your neck is fine. Look, you headbang a bit to prove it. No, a deal is a deal. Is a deal. He breathes in slowly through his nose. All right, Gorgor, remember your mantra. He closes his eyes, and after an awkward minute of watching him whisper something unintelligible to himself, he opens them and immediately starts up that bonkers pace again, so you skedaddle to catch up. He keeps talking, though by now he's just talking to himself, with you as an eavesdropping barnacle with really slow legs. Little manic giggles bubble out in between his sentences. We're heading towards justice, all right? Keep walking, we're seeing this through. I've got a bottom line to uphold. Literally in your text. Okay, not bad. Maybe things are still cool between you. Maybe this lawyer-client relationship still has a chance to blossom into something more. You venture a friendly type topic. Ask him about his mantra. He stops walking and looks at you like you crapped on his Lucis's grave. You don't just ask someone what their mantra is. You don't just ask people what their... Okay. Mantra request forfeiture. Maybe not so cool. He shivers, spooked, and turns on his lanky stare from you to the path you're on. After a moment, he smooths back all down the hairs he shook out of place during his freakout, pivots and turns down a side street. Anyway, as I was about to say, there are many ways to fulfill the terms of our contract. I was hoping this would lead to a more stimulating evening. I was prepared to get into it with you, for you. But it has become clear that this partnership is no longer worth the work. Especially now that I will have to consider the significant career setback I just experienced at your feckless hand. So instead of wasting any more of my time or yours, let's take a shortcut to the same result, sparing us both the agony of enduring a long court battle in the proximity of one another. Here's your verdict. You're guilty. Guilty immersement. Guilty. Wait, that wasn't supposed to be the other guy on trial? You look around, panic rising in your chest. Oh, don't tell me. You don't know how the legal system works either. Unsurprising and uninteresting. Oh, this is bad. You've been caught up in watching him talk that you didn't notice him guiding you straight to a terrible part of town. You know, the part that's half demolished, hives and creepy noises and drones flying around? Drones like the one that turns to notice you when Tagora whistles and snaps his fingers and points right at your head. Hey, big guy. Over here. One extremely malformed and unviable troll. Just the way you like it. You shouldn't feel surprised at this betrayal, maybe, but you do, for a second anyway. Then you focus on yelling and scanning for possible debris to hide under. Tagora starts backing away as the drone gets closer. There's a sewer the next street over. You probably won't make it. But if you do, check your pocket. Do specified bad end. Okay. So we got Tagora's all figured out. Now the one I'm less Vicare is going to be like such a long thing. Okay, skippity-doo-dah. And save. Close. Tell him you love spaceflight. Well then, we are in total agreement. Two kindred souls traveling hand in hand into a glorious yet inevitable future of conscripted service in space. Which is, as I've already made clear, is as a thing I most definitely and absolutely desire. So it seems we have nothing more to discuss. Toodaloo. Bye. Okay. Maybe I should just skip all the first ones. Okay, not so sure about space flight. Okay, tell him airplanes exist. Hold on a second. Saving. Airplanes. Okay. I brought you here to show you my truth, and you treat me to mockery? An airplane. A plane that floats in the air. Flying machines are a serious business. I think you should leave. Game over, man. We insulted him. And never heard of an airplane. Stay in the hive. You tell him any food he has in the house will be fine. Surely staying here will get you fed more quickly. No problem at all, my fine and fervent fellow. However, I believe two kindred souls such as ourselves have more ways of communing than mere words alone. I think I'm grasping the meaning behind your request. The signal from your transmitter is pinging my cranial orb's receiver. I see what you're truly after is food for the soul. You definitely meant food for the body. You look for an opening where you might gently correct your new buddy, but he seems to be working himself up to say a lot more things. The delectable nutrition of what a troll's truest being craves. The sustenance of thought, of imagination, of desire. That which nourishes the self better than the finest grub noodles. Art, passion, science. You must have a hankering to see my flying machine design sketches. Slow down, troll. Da Vinci, we're gonna calm down. Despite your troubles, you can't help but think his enthusiasm's kind of sweet. You nod weakly. You make one last attempt, indicating that food might strengthen you to fully appreciate his work. No need to worry. I am fully confident in your ability to take in my glorious blueprints. You have shown yourself to have quite the sturdy noggin and discerning gander bulb. I welcome your input. Warmth blooms in your stomach. It feels nice to hear him compliment you. You're not sure what you've actually done to earn his praise, but you definitely don't want to ruin this now. Maybe seeing his designs will be fun, even on the empty stomach. Maybe really will nourish you on a level that'll help you forget about the prosaic earthly nourishment that you wanted. You tell him you're in. Not so fast. That what I am planning to reveal to you is what I keep close to my torso pillar. It's not that I don't trust you, my footloose and horn-free cohort. But I think I would like to trust you a little more before vivisecting myself and displaying my bleeding organs before your penetrating gaze, which is a metaphor for exposing my portfolio. Might I trouble you to participate in a small trust trial? No problem, you tell him. Your bud insists that you make yourself comfortable while he gets a few supplies. After a few minutes, he returns with a fistful of fabrics in different colors. Here's what's been bouncing around the old brain box of mine, buddy-o. I'm going to tie this blindfold around your face, and then I'm going to give you some instructions, and you're going to try to locate the case where I keep my treasured sketches. And if you can find it, it's gotta mean we trust each other deeply. Like two wings working in unison to achieve liftoff. If that's how wings work, I'm still figuring out the principles of the matter. What a romp! Are you up for it? It's too late to turn back now. And really, you don't want to. It's kind of a relief to have him tell you what to do to earn his friendship in plain terms, as well as the plain of this guy's terms ever get. You give him the thumbs up. Now we're on the trolley! He quickly ties the fabric around your face. The time is upon us. Time for the inaugural flight of our deepening bond. Time to nudge our fledgling companionship out the nest and see what happens. Your new friend starts to direct you around the room. To the left. No, my left. Okay, sorry, I meant your left. And now onwards to the glorious future that lies before us. You smile weakly, doing your best to follow his instructions. He sounds happy, so you must be getting somewhere. Almost to the doorway. 3 steps forward so you will be... Wait! Crash. You stagger backwards from the impact. You hear yourself wheeze. The shock has totally knocked your lungs out of commission. Your chest jerks in tiny contractions as you gasp for air. Oh, beans. Ding dong, ding dang, darn it. There's no pain, just an intense pressure focused on the center of your face, right around where you ran into something face first. You pull at the blindfold and you hear footsteps, which probably means your new friend is rushing over to help. He gets the blindfold untied and oops, I hit the mic, I'm sorry. His face swims into your vision. He looks utterly gobsmacked. Why, I'll be a horn beast grub food. Everything copacetic, new pal. You put your hand to your face and touch something wet. Sure enough, when you pull your fingers away, they're covered in blood. Your nose isn't gushing or anything, just sending out a couple of rivulets to let you know it's having a bad day. Not too bad. You tell your acquaintance this and he doesn't look any less horrified. Shivering stratocumuli. All this time I've been testing you, to see if you could place the tender gift of trust in your declawed little hands. And here you bestowed upon me the greatest trust of all. Knowledge of your non-standard hematological attributes. I'm truly honored, flabbergasted. Absolutely pushed to the brink of rationality by such a display of faith. Never mind the trust trial. You deserve to see my sketches. Just wait here. Be back in 2 shakes of a baby bar beast hindquarters. You sit down at the floor again, wiping the blood off your face. You're not going to question the stroke of luck you've been shown. Why, if you knew bleeding was the key to his affections all along, you could have encouraged some blood from the sites of your multiple injuries. But no matter, you sniff the last of the blood back up your nostrils, tasting metal in the back of your throat. When your almost friend returns, he drops a big stack of papers onto your lap. You page through the designs. The first few are rudimentary, almost variations of spaceships with little notes saying how to make it not reach escape velocity, and less jet fuel, shape could be less aerodynamic. But as you keep going, the designs get pretty interesting. One seems to rely on some rotating sails to achieve lift. Another shows a light frame body attached to 4 jointed wings. You briefly wondered what his plans to make wings out of were before you see a note stating these are dragon wings. A follow-up scribble states, flapping mechanism, how to soften rigor mortis. But hang on, you take a closer look at the machine's frame. This guy's sketch is pretty detailed. The frame doesn't seem to be made out of wood or aluminum as you expected, but a smaller individual shapes lashed together with some kind of cord. Maybe it's just a macabre aesthetic? Do you think it maybe looks like bones? You look back at the other designs. Now that you look at it, the sails of this one have a texture that might be leather or similar. The sketches themselves are picked out in a variety of colors, not dissimilar from some of the brand new blood colors you discovered lately. Oh boy, you've been down this creepy alien road before. Using your lightest, most jocular tone, you question the bone shapes. You soften your words with a big, non-freaked out smile. What's that? Well, I'm not a construction professional, you know. Got to use what's available. Only cold low-bloods and grubs, of course. Not an ounce of insurrectional spirit in this fellow over here. Fear not, unhorned one. These wacky cultural differences, you just misunderstood. You take a refuge in your old standby of nodding and smiling. None of your business what body parts this fella uses or doesn't use to make his Wright brothers' transformative fan works. Friends aren't for judging people's use of corpses as construction materials anyway. You know, when you crash-landed on my planet, I had no idea what to think. Vickeray, old boy, you've really shot the balls now. That's what I told myself. Telling about an alien about your flying dreams, that's ruffled the kitty, no doubt about it. But now that we're here, and you're having a looky-loo at my sketches, I'm thinking it might have been right for us to meet after all. Perhaps the work of my capricious Madam Destiny. Surely he's about to say that you two are friends. You can almost taste the sweet, sweet friendship-affirming syllables coming from his mouth. You are just seconds away from that coveted F-word. Oh, are you? Maybe you misconstrued everything. You look back down at the sketches. Bones in this one, bones in that one. He says these plans call for bones of aliens like him. Or at least if you understood him correctly. But they don't really look like different from, well, the bones you're more familiar with. Your own bones. Your bones, which have already gone through a lot today, maybe seem kind of harvestable condition, if one is so inclined. You clear your throat. Haha, you say he's not in the market for these materials right now, is he? Like right now? Your friendly guy doesn't understand your question. You're not gonna push it, but you do risk a quick glance at yourself, then back at him, then back at yourself, just to see if he's checking out the stuff, so to speak. When you look back at him, he looks aghast. Oops. Heavens to biscuits. Is that what you think of me? You think I'm the type to start taking people's body parts all higgledy-piggledy? As if there weren't plenty of thoughtlessly discarded rib cages to work with. If that's the type of gent you're looking for in these parts, I'm afraid I'm not the type of aggressive heartthrob you're after. We can just call the macho, bloodthirsty, romantic hero type. Ready to whip out an organ-harvesting tool at a moment's notice. I thought we could be friends, but now I see you're looking for something different. My apologies. I think it's best if you go elsewhere. You want to correct the misunderstanding. You're not fully sure what the misunderstanding is. This guy doesn't seem to be in any mood for friendship right now. You hang your head. Looks like this is all just a big waste of time. Misunderstood. Okay, volume 4. All done. Okay. This doesn't seem like it's gonna be a one episode thing. Oh gosh. Polypa. And save. Freak out and let the pervies out of the bag. You stop abruptly and someone smacks into you from behind. You go down hard, your hand ripped away from the girl's. She gives you a fierce glower of disappointment. Fine. Just more people letting me down. I'll deal with this on my own. I've done it before. She takes a running leap for the alley wall, scampering up and onto the roof like a squirrel up a tree. You're left looking down at the smudge of violet blood she left on your palm. An emptiness fills you with the thought of friendship that you could have been if only you'd kept your chill. Leap of unfaith. Okay. Play along, hold hands. Okay. Hide in one of these apartment buildings. That is a possibility. Most of the hive stems around here are cheap rentals, burgundy or bronze at most. I could take them, no problem. I mean, I could take anyone. Some jobs just require a little more forethought. You kind of meant finding an empty unit, or maybe skulking in a foyer or an alien Starbucks, but you don't want to tell your cool new friend how to do her job. And there you go again, jumping the gun and claiming friends you don't have the right to, but she did choose you. Through this point, you may be wishing she grabbed some random stranger's hand. Well, pick one. This is your idea. Oh geez, you seriously don't need this kind of responsibility in your life. Nothing good will come from letting you be in charge, but you also don't want her to think you're useless. You just kind of wish she'd tell you what to do and leave it at that. You pick a tall purple building at random. How about that one? Sure, I guess. You enter what seems to be a standard shabby apartment building, climbing the lobby steps to the hallway lined with doors. This could be any apartment on Earth, but instead the letters on the nameplates are those colorful symbols. They remind you a little of zodiac signs. Huh, weird. Anyway, all the ones that are red and brown are all the ones here are red or brown like Polypa predicted. She listens at a couple doors before finally settling on one with a red symbol. You wait for her to pull a lockpick or high-tech paraphernalia, or even just pin from her hair. Takes a step back and delivers 2 sharp kicks just above the knob. What? I'm not super. You assure her that you absolutely are not judging the way she's running this operation. You don't think you've met a mercenary before. Unless you count the guy who tried to hit you up for cash when you were injured, or the little girl who drained your blood for paints, or the boy constantly on the prowl for delicious meats. Interesting. This apartment is dingy, small, and smells like old pizza. Good news. Not that it smells bad, but just the fact that there's pizza here. You don't think you could live on a planet that didn't have pizza. That's just beyond the pale. You try to shut the busted door as well as you can. Polypa plunks herself down on the couch and pulls out her phone. Or what Skyla called it, a palm husk? She pulls out her palm husk and proceeds to ignore you. That's okay. It's important for friends to give each other space. You take the opportunity to poke around the apartment you're currently illegally occupying, just generally being a nosy piece of crap. Whoever lives here is a real slob. Dishes are piled high in the sink and the windows are so dirty you can barely see out of them. Something sticky and red stains half the counter. It might be blood, but it also might be Kool-Aid. Dang it. Something appears to have gone wrong. Polypa is still on the couch, hunched over with her palm husks held close to her face. She types with her knuckles. You've noticed a lot of trolls do that. Probably because of their claws. It's all over Chitter. Everyone's talking about it. My contact. They got her. She's been cold. Her voice is flat, her eyes expressionless. She lets the palm husk slip from her fingers to her lap. You stand next to the couch like an idiot. You don't know what to say, and you doubt Polypa is the hugging type, but you really can't stand her looking so dejected. Before you start paying me, don't. I barely knew her. It's not like we were in a quadrant or anything. It was just business. You sit down on the other end of the couch, tipping your head and raising your eyebrows to show that you're ready to listen and learn and commiserate. Polypa wraps her arms around her knees. Most pros work with a partner. It's a lot easier when you have someone you can trust to watch your back. It's usually quadrant pairs who work together. There's one particularly famous, an olive and a gold blood duo. Asdaja and Connell. Nice. I've lost plenty of jobs to them, but I've never found anyone I trust enough to make into my partner beyond just a random one-off. Killing a sea dweller is no joke. It's almost totally impossible. Does it mean that guy back in town square is actually dead? Polypa looks affronted at the very thought. Excuse me? No, it just means that I had to get a very expensive knife and coat it in very expensive poison and stab it exactly in the right place. The mother trucker's dead. There's no doubt about that. I don't leave my jobs half done. High caste jobs are my specialty. Most people are too afraid to take jobs higher than teal. Me? I don't care. Low blood, high blood. If you got the cash, I'll do the job. If I did have a partner, it would make things a lot easier. I'll admit that much. You cough lightly into a closed fist. What's this? Caught something in your throat, perhaps? Could it be the steady hand of fate reaching a finger down and testing a gag reflex? You murmur delicately that sometimes destiny steers you in a direction that you never thought you'd go. Maybe, just maybe, it steered her to you. That's forward for sure, but you pretty much are an old hand at this by now, right? Polypa snorts. It's a little watery. Is she crying? No way. Not a tough assassin like her. You're imagining it. You? No offense, but I've only grabbed you because you look so weird, and I figured you wanted to avoid the drones even more than I do. You don't exactly blend in. You can't argue with her logic, but a sourness starts in your throat now that the realization that Polypa has not chosen you for your obvious trustworthiness and friendship potential, but rather because you look like a disaster. Fair assessment, whatever. You can get past that. God knows you've gotten past worse, like attempted murder. As a good friend recently said, you gotta break a few cluck beast embryos to make a grublet. She's considering you now more thoughtful than before. Well, I guess beggars can't exactly be choosers. But you have to remember... But what you have to remember, you aren't destined to find out. That fate finger reaches down further and chokes you. Keys jingle outside the apartment before whoever it is out there catches sight of the busted door. What the hell? You and Polypa lock eyes. Oh, crap. A quick flash of silver, and suddenly a knife appears in Polypa's hands. Where did that even come from? Outside the hall, someone is swearing. The broken door falls inward, and before it all the way opens, Polypa is up and over the couch, launching herself at the intruders. Crap. Wait, you are the intruders. This is what you were afraid of. You're about to watch your new friend kill some poor low-blood troll. This is a terrible idea. Too bad there's no way to go back in time and make your choices all over again. Yeah, that would be rad. You wish life was like that. A short, stout little guy with a red symbol on his shirt comes through, but right behind him is a troll so tall he has to duck to get through the door. Oh, hell no. The giant troll catches Polypa with one hand. He's got a big, ram-like horns and a curly purple symbol on his shirt. His face is painted in lines of black and white, makeup designed to make his face look like a skull. Look, babe. Look at these tiny wiggler thieves. Polypa writhes in his grip, clawing at him like an angry cat. He hangs on, giving her a shake. Crap, you gotta do something. But what? If you get in that purple guy's reach, you're absolutely gonna get killed. You try to move your feet, but your survival instincts are kicking in and you rooted to the spot. You can't do anything. You're useless. You don't even know what happened to Polypa's knife. You wish you had taken some self-defense classes back on Earth. I thought you took 3rd grade karate or something. The high blood gives Polypa a wide smile and tosses her across the room like he's lobbing a dodgeball. She lands on her back, rolls to her feet, and bolts for the window. Of course he would have a high blood mate spread. The high blood turns to you and sticks out a big gray tongue, and wow, suddenly you can move your feet again. You throw yourself out the window after Polypa. But you're only 1 floor up, but that's 1 floor more than you would like to be when falling out a building. Your fall is broken by Polypa, meaning you get a collection of bony elbows and knees applied to your gut. She bares her teeth at you. Get off, idiot! They're definitely gonna call the drones. We've gotta run. You roll your big floppy body off her and hustle to keep up as she peels off down the street. You throw one last glance over your shoulder to see the 2 guys heading out of the window. The high blood waves lazily. Polypa starts out strong, but pretty soon she's limping and leaning on your shoulder. The jagged piece of glass is wedged in her calf muscle. You lean down and get a closer look. You're no doctor, but recently you've become an expert in acute injuries. Oh, what the hell? Stop! You want me to leave a blood trail? We need to split up, now that we've been seen together. Your heart sinks all the way to your aching feet. Aw, you've been sure you had this one on lock. You mention, half mumbling to yourself, that maybe it would be better if you stayed together, safety in numbers and all that. Oh yeah? Maybe safety for you. This is a terrible idea. I can't believe I ever trusted that someone could have my back. Yeah, let's do another one of your amazing plans. Sounds great. She leaves you with an intersection of streets. Even though she's no longer leaning on you, you nevertheless feel a heaviness settle inside you. Philosophically, a deep fatigue so intense you want to curl up on the ground. So you do. At least your butt didn't kill her. Okay, got all the Polypa ones. We definitely got all the zebra... Well, no, we got one zebra one, but okay, fine. Let's see. Da, 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 da. I hate zebra so freaking much. Zebra. Skip. Lions say you have a high blood color. It's not that I don't want to be friends with other high bloods. I'm a busy troll, you understand, so I can only befriend folks I might, want to fill a quadrant with someday. Besides, high bloods don't just need much help in our unjust society. Stay awakened! He pumps his fist in the air and you immediately copy him, but the gesture doesn't seem to be enough to change his mind about you not being oppressed enough for his taste. So I just don't think it's going to work out between us. Bye! Out of his league! Okay, now we just got one for the, for volume 6. Let's go. Because this one was a train wreck. Okay, follicle and cuprum. Skip. Stick up for yourself. You put it to them offhandedly that perhaps it is they who are the trash creatures, since they are the ones who smell like they've been rolling in it for the past few days. For some reason, this makes them laugh even harder. Cuprum, check out the guy we got over here. That moment when freaky callbait nerdlord talks back. Why don't you just run and cry about it? Yeah, go and tell your Lucis on us. The girl tugs at the boy's hair, and they're off, cackling and running up the street with weird stumbling gait. They leave you all on your lonesome, fresh friendship opportunities withering on the vine. You probably dodged a bullet, but you can't prevent the oncoming. Game over, it's for the best. Okay. On to volume 7. Maybe I can get this done in a half hour. Who knows? I doubt it so much. Okay. Remele. Kind of derivative. You clearly know nothing about art, pleb. If you don't like it, there's the door. Make room for someone with money to burn and better taste. Out. Broomed. Oops, did I save there? I didn't, did I? A little too far. Okay. Okay, back here. Best art ever seen. And yes. Okay. And okay. Bust down the door. Oh, why? Why are you doing this? I didn't... What? Okay, that was weird. Let's try that again. Okay. Bust down the door. A heist sounds risky enough without spending extra time trying to pickpocket some keys. Suggests that if this crime is going to happen tonight, it should happen now. No time like the present. Good point. Let's break into a museum. You scoot casually across the street to the museum on the corners. After seeing the kind of looks your unusual appearance draws from passerby, Remele takes some fabric from her bag and wraps it around your head. There, now people will probably just assume that you have horns. You're just embarrassed by them being tiny or malformed. Duck into the alcove shielding the museum's back door and wait for me. I'm going to circle the block first so we seem less suspicious. As you wait for Remele by the door, the reality of this caper sets in. You've been excited about the heist at first because who wouldn't be excited by an opportunity to sneak around, steal some art, stick it to the man, probably while a snazzy soundtrack played. But now you realize that in heist movies, they always have blueprints for the place they're gonna rob, and you have no blueprints. It seems like a dire sign. Before you get too swept up in your worries, Remele returns. Does she have any idea how to get into this place? Because the door looks pretty unbustable to you. Yeah, I've got some tricks up my sleeve. Never done this before, but it probably'll work. She roots around in her bag until she comes up with several paintbrushes of varying size, then crouches down and uses the skinniest of them as a lockpick. It doesn't work, but then she selects a different paintbrush with different bristles and uses some of the bristles bunched together, and the lock clicks open. Huh. I'm great at this. I bet I could be an incredible thief if I decided to do that instead of art. Do you ever take time to just sit back and acknowledge how great you are at everything you try to do and how much you trust yourself to never screw up when it counts? You hope that the question's rhetorical because your honest answer is no. You don't have a whole lot of experience acknowledging how great you are at everything you attempt. Your mental acknowledgments lately have mostly been the opposite of that. Maybe it wasn't rhetorical because Remele stays crouched down like that for a second, looking at you like she wants an answer. Then she eventually comes up with an awkward shrug. She stands up and puts away her makeshift lockpick, dusting off her hands and opening the door. I guess not everyone can be at my confidence level. Anyway, let's go. Oh boy. Look at the Silence of the Lambs back there. You follow her inside, much to your delight. You see that this museum has an infrared laser beam alarm system. What just happened? Okay. It looks cool, just like in the movies, and you're back to being excited. Remele seems into it too, bouncing the balls of her feet next to you. Interesting. Very interesting. One of us is going to have to get through to the beams to disable the alarm. The box to do that is across the room, you see? But the lasers are close together. You can see the real issue. Remele isn't that tall for a troll, but she might be too tall to maneuver through these beams. Even if she bends over, it's going to be tricky for her to squirm through them without losing her balance and tripping the alarm. But the trolls that designed this alarm system didn't have your hornless butt in mind when they thought of potential intruders. You stoop over a bit to see if you'll fit, and sure enough, yes! You should be able to shimmy your way through these beams with minimal contortion. Fuck yeah! I knew it was right to bring an accomplice. Great thinking, me! The great heist skills, you, if you pull this off. You recall what she said about confidence and trusting yourself not to screw things up, and you assure her that you've got this. You face the laser beams with your self-doubt shoved all the way down, and you hopefully won't screw anything up. You carefully take a deep breath and crouch down carefully, so carefully you inch your way forward between the wires. It's the slowest you've ever crossed a room in your life, and there are a couple of moments when you teeter and almost lose your balance. You can hear Remele's hissing through her teeth behind you at tense moments, but you press on without looking back. Then you've done it. You've reached the box to disable the alarm system, and you have no idea how you're going to do that. All the buttons are labeled in alien alphabet. Crap. Oh, that's right. I forgot you can't read. Press the one that looks like a meat hook, but with angry eyes, and then press the one that looks like a meat hook, but it's got a perbeast claws. That should do it. That sounds bonkers to you. But you look back at the buttons. Her descriptions of the letters are actually pretty spot on. You press the angry eyes and the cat claws, and the whole alarm system makes a soft shuddering noise and then clicks and shuts off. You are thrilled. You did it. Who knew that doing that would give you such a rush? This is just like the part of the heist where the heroes have to sweat for a minute, but then defeated the unforeseen wrench in their plan. You are certain that there couldn't possibly be any larger wrenches in your plan still to come. Remele crosses the room to join you, giving you an appraising look with her hands on her hips. Not bad. Thanks for coming through for me like that. Now let's get what we came here for. There's one work in particular that I'm here to get. You follow her through the different galleries, passing through the sculpture rooms and oil paintings until you reach a display of pieces that look inspired by pop culture. The paintings and the prints in here remind you of a lot of Remele's exhibit, and when you look at her, you can see that she's rigid, her eyes flashing in passionate blue tint to her cheeks. I can't believe they called me the hack. Such bull. Whatever, it's cool. It doesn't actually bother me. I just need to send a message that they don't want to fa with me. This painting right here is a direct rip-off of one of my earlier works, back when I was naive enough to put my art up for free, without realizing it would just get copied and someone else would get all the credit and profit. Well, I learned my lesson. I'll take this so they can't sell it, rip it off to their rip-offs, and make something even better and turn it over for a truckload of cash. She grabs the painting, and then the two of you are ready to heist roll out of there when you hear voices from the back door, and it sounds like the team of security guards coming in. They must have arrived to investigate the alarm system shutting down. You are ready to embrace your panic, but you stop hyperventilating when you feel Remele's vice-like claw grip in your arm. Don't freak out. Follow my lead. We can still get out of this. You assume the whole heist is off, that the security has shown up, but you're surprised, Remele doesn't put the stolen painting back on the wall. She gives one last reassuring squeeze before sauntering out of the room with her head held high, moseying no hurry towards the front door. You follow her nonchalant lead as best you can. When one of the security guards stops her, Remele gives him a condescending, slightly confused look. What are you even doing here? My assistant told me she informed all staff that I would be swinging by today to pick this up. Did you miss that memo? Give me a break. I'm sure it must be easy to miss things, right? Because as security guards, you probably get so much important correspondence every day. Her four pupils somehow give a sneering eye roll, extra sarcastic force. She yawns and with her free hand, not holding the painting, flicks some non-existent dirt off her shirt. The security troll, a burgundy blood judging from the sign on the cop hat, looks uncertain and embarrassed. But I get it, I understand, crossed wires. Since you're apparently too busy to do your job right, I'll catch you up to speed. I'm the artist behind this piece, and I've got some wealthy patron interested in commissioning something similar. I'm taking this as reference in order to negotiate a better deal. There's absolutely no way these guys will buy her story. The two of you look so guilty. And you still have her yellow sash wrapped around your head, probably looking like an idiot with a head injury. But Remele is staring down the guard like it hasn't even occurred to her that she might be questioned. You've never seen someone double down so hard on a story that is such transparent bull. But if you want more of my time and yours by calling your superior to verify, go ahead. He might not be thrilled that this mix-up happened because you can't keep up with your emails, though. The security troll is already wavering. At the mention of his emails, he cringes. His coworker behind him shuffles around, muttering to each other. He steps back, horns lowered in embarrassment, and waves you and Remele through with a mumbled apology. You can't believe this is happening, but the two of you swagger out onto the street through the front door, legitimate as anything. You don't stop until you turn the corner to the next block, and then Remele leans against a wall and laughs, holding her painting happily to her chest. Ah, suckers. Feels good to get away with things, doesn't it? You feel good, you suppose. Mostly you think you're still reeling. How did she come up with a story like that on the fly? How did she guess correctly that the security guard wasn't some hyper-organized inbox zero kind of guy who'd never believed that he could have missed a message? Oh gosh, I'm currently in that not inbox zero guy. Okay, Remele gives you an odd look and reaches forward to unwind her sash from around her head and stuff it back in her bag. I just winged it, man. You overthink things. My guesses are usually right because I'm a creative genius, but if going after him for emails hadn't worked, meh. I guess we could have been arrested, and then I'd talk my way out of that eventually too. Wow, you find it hard to believe that she goes through life so easily with that kind of unshakable belief that she can just improvise through anything. Doesn't she worry that it'll catch up to her someday? You want the long answer? It's this. Nope, I super don't. That if you still don't get it, I don't know, is kind of a thing you can... I don't know if it's kind of a thing you can really learn. She picks up the painting again, looking down at the street and away from you. Well, that was a successful heist. Now that I've ruined the competition, I feel inspired. I'm going to take this home and paint. Wait, hang on. That sinking feeling, you realize that she's getting ready to depart, and that this friendship might be slipping through your fingers. Sorry, kid. You seem like you're not totally useless, at least, but I'm not one for long-term artistic collaboration. It's a lot easier to talk your way out of a tight spots when you're on your own. Peace! You watch her go, your shoulders sagging with disappointment. You guys stole from a museum together, escaped together, bamboozled the cops together. You should have bonded over your shared transgressions and culpability. Every crime movie you've ever seen has taught you that heists bring people closer together, but cultural differences... Game over, man. Game over. Okay, I think we can do one last one. We've got like the second half of Connell's route to go. Oh, I love this song so much. Okay. Works on spec. Okay, we're gonna search the spaceship. Here's your chance to prove that you are totally capable of making non-disastrous choices. You reason it would probably be best to check out the space cruiser while it's empty, because who knows how many people will be waiting for you inside the warehouse. Yeah, that works for me. You suspect that Connell could have agreed to anything you suggested just as long as she didn't have to make the decision herself. What a mood. As the kids say these days, big worm. There's so many tough decisions in your life recently. You're worried that the spaceship will be locked and your great plan is going to be over before it begins, but the door glides open easily and silently. Creepy. Connell leads the way and you let her. You don't know what wild security measures the troll ship has, but you know you don't want to find out. Inside is normal enough, a pilot and co-pilot seat, a central panel covered with more than a squiggly Alternian language, and a bank of sleeping screens. Other than that, it's remarkably bare of any homey touches. Not like your ship, which, in your humble opinion, was nicely decorated. You've got some pretty dope posters on your wall. More to the point, there is absolutely nothing of value here, Connell can tell also. Ugh, there's no point of being here. It's just a cruiser. Well, all the good stuff is definitely inside the warehouse. Okay, fair, you had no idea what you were doing, and you were sick of pretending that you do. You wish you could just take a breather, honestly. Strange compulsive desire for more friendship is still there, but you're pretty exhausted. Let's just... Ugh. Oh, now that's kind of... No. Oh, wow, that's kind of forward, Connell. You aren't even in the friendship stage yet. Oh, calm down, you gigantic tool! I mean... Oh, fuck. There's an adult troll and we're definitely gonna die. That's why I said the F word. Oh. That is a big troll. Connell is pretty big. She's the biggest troll you've met so far. If someone fed you truth serum and put a gun to your head, you might even describe her as thick. This troll is terrifying, and she looks angry, or maybe that's just how her face always looks. There are teeth. Lots of teeth. Oh boy, a cerulean named... Okay, cerulean. Wait, how many letters do you have in your name? 2, 4, 6, 8. Hey! Way to go, you got an 8-letter name. You are an adult. Cool. Okay. Who told you you could be in here? I didn't order any ugly wigglers. Who you calling ugly? Connell immediately slaps a clawed gauntlet over her mouth, apparently remembering who she's shouting at. The adult troll growls, and you don't mean she sounds angry. It's not a husky, sexy metaphor. She really growls, a deep guttural animal noise. Staring into a pair of merciless cobalt eyes, you experience a pulse of crystalline fear. Blank and cold, you're pretty much constantly braced for death, but that doesn't mean you're looking forward to it. Instead of springing forward and rending you to pieces, the adult just stares at you. Dang, adult monster troll. Take a picture, it'll last longer. The last thing you remember is those blazing eyes, and that even fades, and you slip away. Oh, when you thrash back to consciousness, Connell is right on top of you, pinning you to the warm, thumbling metal of the spaceship wall. She doesn't look angry or scared or anything. Her snarling, expressive face is utterly blank. You say her name a couple times, but she doesn't twitch. She just squeezes down harder, grinding the bones of your wrist together. Someone is swearing. Oh, crap, you strain to see around Connell's head. The adult troll is seated on one of the pilot's seat, and console's lit up. You realize the thumbing of the walls mean the ship is moving. You see the sickly green-gray of the Alternian night sky, and your stomach goes a discontorting leap in mingled elation and dread. You can't believe you're actually going into space and finally heading somewhere besides this hellhole of a planet. Of course, that's how you felt when you were first leaving Earth, and how you had no idea where this troll is bringing you, and your new prospective friend is just sitting here like she's hypnotized. She only reacts when you struggle, and only to slam you back against the wall. You just randomly fell asleep, didn't you? How the heck did that happen? The adult starts talking again, and she isn't talking to you. No, I'm on my way. No more delays, I promise. The loose-eye shipment's on schedule. No, don't worry. Everything is... Sirens scream and screens flash. The ship bucks wildly like a sailboat hit by a wave. The adult troll's fingers fly over the consoles. No, what the hell? I don't know. It's like I've lost all control of the dang thing. Connell's grip on you loosens. She pulls away and shakes her head back and forth, shaggy hair flopping into her eyes. What the hell? Where are we? She sounds small and lost. The adult troll doesn't turn around. She's too busy yelling a mayday into her comm and trying to wrest back control of her ship. The whole thing shudders again, and yours and Connell's heads bonk together. Ow! The ship bucks again. It feels like engine failure, and more like a gigantic baby is shaking it like a rattle. You are scared, sure, also awash in sudden, unexpected flare of understanding and competency, because this isn't the first time this has happened to you. This is exactly how you crash-landed on Alternia in the first place. You were just passing by, minding your own space business, when your ship decided it wanted nothing better to do than snap its reins, toss its wild head, and head straight for the unfamiliar planet below you. You push yourself to your feet, trying to tame your nausea as the ship rolls. You grab Connell's hand and pull her across the compartment to glowing green sigil on the wall. You don't know much, but you do know absconding when everything starts falling to crap. Hey, what are you... Oh, let go of me! Absolutely not. If you do that, you will not be able to be friends with her, because she'll be dead. With the strength born in your desperation, you pull her to the escape pod with you. Ugh! We won't frit! You will. You do. But it's uncomfortable as hell. Craning your neck is very uncomfortable angle, and you manage to reach around Connell and press the big red button on the wall. An alarm sounds and you hear the adult say, "What the?" before the door slams shut and the escape pod rockets out into space. You shudder back down towards Alternia. Connell's weight crushing your delicate ribcage. Poor ribcage. You're surprised it hasn't sued you for damages yet. Well, that sure is a crap show. Hardships bring people together, don't they? That's a deaf thing. Unfortunately, you judge Connell swearing and mutter death threats that this is not one of those times. Game over. Okay then. Act 7? Let's just keep going. I'll just cut out all the important bits. Well, if I'm not doing the first ones, I can totally just kick out... Well, okay. Start. We gotta do the next one for Tizius. One of the best teal girls. Okay, keep standing there, paralyzed by choice. You kind of can't look away from all that gravel. Those spines could really stab a person's skull right open, huh? The gavel. Wow. Thanks for standing around and staring assistance. It really helped a lot. Definitely can't do that on my own. You're still stuck on the image. She stands up, grumbling, and snatches the book out of your grasp. She turns, waving a dismissing hand at you. Never mind. Now you're just in my way. She doesn't acknowledge you to leave, but she stops acknowledging you, which you figure is pretty much the same thing. You were iffy about this one from the start, but dang, it turns out rejection still stings. Oh, she actually had a big old friggin' gavel. Okay, I didn't notice that when I was reading it through. Okay. Tizius done. I already got all the Chixies ones done. Though, possibly at the ending of, like, the good ending, it's possibly talking about Dominic. But, again, I need to look into the wiki and see if when this takes place. If it takes place before, or after, or even during the Hive Swap stuff. So, let's see. We move on to 9 with Azdaja. Okay, save. Climb up and surprise him. Eagerly, you clamber up the side of the rock. Wow, this drop is pretty intense, but it's nothing you can't handle without plenty of determination and frantic climbing. You finally make it to the top. You're about ready to haul yourself up so you can stand, fully ready to introduce yourself and let this guy have it with the gentility. Really show him how amicable you can be. Before you do that, though, he whirls around, trench coat and long hair whipping in a wide arc. All your clumsy scrambling on the rock face must have clued him into your presence. Did you really think you could sneak up on me? His eyes flash literally. They flicker from blue to turquoise and back again with quick succession. You don't notice the pure white energy crackling of his fingertips until you're already in the air. Cuprum lifted you like this when you're getting yanked by the scruff of your shirt. This is smoother somehow, like you just stepped on a strong breeze. Doesn't really change the outcome, though. You eye the ground nervously. Think again. Wait, you aren't engaging in any sneaking around, honestly. Or, well, you were, but you didn't mean anything malicious by it. You were just trying just after some quality hangouts. Unfortunately for you, he doesn't seem very moved with your heartfelt entreaty. A likely story. You're gonna gank my data to get a frond up on the game. Don't try to deny it. You don't know anything about any game, but before you can explain further, you're unceremoniously released. You run through quite a spectrum of emotions as you plunge downward, but the strongest by far is regret. Regret that you'll emerge from this altercation sans the use of your limbs, if you're lucky. It also sans a potential new friend. Bye. Yeet. Okay. Load again. Wave and hello. Screw this. You know what? You're better than this. Who does this guy think he is, trying to turn you into his minion? Everyone keeps expecting you to be useless. You're tired of it. You've accomplished great things, you say, stamping your feet, kicking up a real hullabaloo. You're a big deal on your home planet. People practically quiver in their boots when you walk past. And even if you aren't a big deal, even if you were the smallest fry around, you're pretty sure that you could take whatever he could dish out. He is just a really nerd idiot who looks like he fell out of the IT department straight into a discount bin of bad Matrix cosplay cast-offs. You have no idea what you're doing. Absolutely nothing you've said about yourself is true. You're spewing out hot air and pure vitriol, running on the modicum of confidence you built up, bluffing your way through a variety of mishaps you've encountered before now. You throw up your hands like you're done, both out of exasperation and as kind of an ending flourish for your little speech. There's a deafening rumble around you. When you turn around, it's just in time to see one of the outer crops shudder dramatically into a pile of detritus. Your eyes go wide. Either the rock was already weakened and chose this moment to break, resulting in the best coincidence ever, or you have secret telekinetic powers of your own that you've never known about till now. Whatever it is, it grants you a venting session, a healthy dose of gravitas. Asdasha just looks at you with a complicated expression on his face, like he's mad at you, but also like you've paid him a really nice compliment. What a brazen proposition. What proposition? If you're propositioning anything, it's for him to consider you an equal rather than some kind of sidekick, that's all. Let me tell you something, alien. I've heard things about this spherical fruit string about someone else... grapevine. About someone else in my line of work who caused quite a bit of stir recently. Alerts have been blowing up, saying a Goldblood girl assassinated a sea dweller. Polypa. I have no reason to suspect she'd show herself here today. I was looking forward to seeing if she's as good as the rumors say she is. A Goldblood girl. That's what the alerts say. But as one of the best mercenaries in the business, I know better. They have been wearing a disguise. He points a finger at you. You, despite not being an Alternian of origin, have a record. You've shown up here to a dueling session in a rumpus robe and nub slits. He indicates her flowing gown and heels. Which could easily be another disguise to throw off the drones from your scent. And, as you are so graciously just demonstrated, you're powerful. You're easily the most suspicious person I've come across here yet. Who's to say you're not the mysterious killer? You realize he's floating gradually higher and higher in the air as he's talking to you until he's hovering over you almost predatorially. Crap, what have you done? If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. Whoa! His eyes light up and bright blue beam explodes the rock next to you. You turn tail and run, but he follows, trailing along behind you like some kind of angry helium balloon. He doesn't stop shooting at you, and you feel the lasers rush past you, rustling your hair and clothes as they cut through the air. Gosh, he's powerful. It takes your breath away. You'd be in awe if you weren't busy running for your life. You almost wish you had some sort of device that could measure how powerful he is. Except, no, not really. On second thought, knowing his exact power level would probably be so frustrating that you'd immediately break whatever device that would call for with your bare hands. As strong as he is, though, you can't help but notice that none of his shots are all close to hitting you. It's more like he's trying to intimidate you, provoking you into fighting back. You have to get away from him as quickly as possible before any of his blasts actually connect. Before you know it, your scurrying feet have taken you back to where you started, the train station. Would you quit running around like a cluck beast with a severed think pan? You come to me, and now you don't... No, you came on to me, and now you don't follow through? Get back here and fight. You seem to have managed to pick both a fight and hit on him simultaneously. Maybe he thinks you want a hate Mace Spades thing with him? Ugh. You just wanted to be friends, and you might have lost your temper a little. That's all. This was a big misunderstanding. He isn't listening to you. Another blast rips up to you, dangerously close to your ear, and this time you scan the area frantically for cover. There, a structure near the tracks that looks like it might be some kind of mechanized ticket booth. You dive behind it. I'm growing impatient, alien. Cease the game of hunt and sequester and face me. The beam hits your makeshift shield, blowing a hole straight through it. You stumble backward, close to the tracks. Oh no. Aw, crap. This is it. You're gonna be murdered in cold blood by a guy who can shoot pure energy out his eyes, and there's nothing you can do about it. You squeeze your eyes shut, bracing for the impact. All of a sudden, there's a distant rushing sound. With all the running and laser dodging, you've forgotten that this station was even for in the first place. The train's arriving. Maybe someone on it will be willing to help you? Not like Alternians seem to have a good record of helping folk in need out of goodness of their hearts, but dang it, it's the only chance you've got. Adagio is distracted by the train's arrival for only a moment before turning towards you again. Then a figure climbs out of one of the train carriages, a figure that's large, hulking, and one you recognize. Asdaja? Oh no! What the hell are you doing? Why are you attacking my friend? Friend? You know this glove's for Sponge? Why didn't you tell me? They're the assassin I've been looking for. What? You idiot. They're no assassin. I met them when they freaked out over a little blood. They've never killed before. What? What about their powers? Connell squints at you like she's thinking very hard about what your more exceptional qualities might be. Well, they're pretty good at falling on their butt and freaking out in the middle of a crisis and being squishable. Adaj's expression goes cold. His eyes stop flashing, but he still looks like he could kill you with his glare alone. I see. So that's why you were running away. You were lying. What an immature ruse. You can't help but feel a little bad for pulling the wool over his eyes, even though you were fearing for your life until just a few seconds ago. Adaja seems to trust Connell's word implicitly. Now that you've been exposed as nothing but a regular Joe, he seems to have lost all interest in you. Connell, I was beginning to think you'd skipped out on the event. Of course not. I missed the Omni-Scuttle Caravan. And the desert has terrible reception, so I couldn't call. You know that. That's right. I'm glad you made it. I've let myself get distracted by this peon for long enough. Let's go strife some losers, own their nooks in battle, and profit. Hell yes. I'd love to stay and chat, kid, but there's a bunch of culls in that canyon, and with my name all over them. Later. You watch wistfully as they set off back towards the canyon. If only you hadn't lost your temper and lied on your butt like an idiot, you might have been walking along with them. Instead, here you are alone on the ground, new friendship having slipped through your fingers like the desert sand. Alone. Okay. Adaja is complete. All that's left is Chahat's, like, initial bad ending. Okay. Church sucks? Okay. Religion stuff is kind of over your head. Besides, you really should stick with the friend who has vested interest in keeping you alive rather than menacingly non-committal clown lady. All of your recent experiences with Purple Bloods have been, well, bad. You're so right. See, Chahat, my friend is no dummy. Chahat's eyes gleam, and for an eerie moment you think she's gonna reach down and crush Amesia's skull, or yank out her windpipe, or do some other mega violence, but instead she just shrugs her giant shoulders. Well, what's that? Well, that's what happens when you allow the democratic process lead the way. Crap, that's right, you aren't going to church, you're going on the final hunt, and knowing Amesia, you aren't going to be duck hunting. Also, you don't think the splatters on Chahat's pants are paint. Well, they are paint, but Amesia's style paint. Yay! Come on, quick! I've got something to show you! She takes off down the steep hill back towards the train tracks. Aw, man, you're seriously not dressed for this clambering. Chahat appears to have noticed this too, because a few steps later, your feet leave the ground and you find yourself cradled in the considerable bosom of a large clown. Up close, she smells like sugar and blood. No struggling now, sweet thing. Better pray that I don't drop you. Oh, I forgot. You don't pray. Because church sucks. You don't like this? Well, you like not having to walk, and it's pretty cool that she can lift you like you're a tiny baby, but also you're probably gonna die. You're so busy freaking the heck out at first you don't realize that Chahat is carried you past the train tracks to a stand of trees. Oh no. Ta-da! Amesia gestures like she's a presenter on a game show, but instead of showing you a dope new car, she points to a boy hanging by a rope by his feet, swinging back and forth as he desperately tries to free himself. Chahat, you were so right. Using traps is a total time saver. I'm all about those life hacks and other kinds of hacks. Haha. Whoop. She lifts her axe, the troll hanging from the tree screams, and that scream becomes a gurgle, which becomes ringing silence as his head leaves his body, spewing brown blood. It rolls a stop right to your feet. Oh gosh. You've had enough of this. Why can't anybody on this planet find an ounce of chill? Amizi and Shaha watch you expectantly. What do they want? You to kick the head back like this is sports? Give it a smooch? It is a brown blood. You know what? Screw this. You turn and sulk out of the woods. This time you're orchestrating your own failure. So done. Wow. Okay. We got Zebedee next. Go, 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 go. You already got, like, the initial bad ending out of the way, but now we have the longer bad ending. At least you don't have to worry about Tagiri, because we got all those terrible ones out of the way. Ask him if he's really fine. And go. Say you'll visit. And... answer. Might as well. You have no idea how long Zebedee's gonna be in there, and if there's anyone with music, it's this troll. Okay, Sarova streams for sweeps. Nice. Hey, dude. Sup? Can't believe it took you this long to get a chitter, LMAO. Dang, you're like really lost without my help, huh? Looks like you only got 2 followers though, LMAO. You feel like some nameless transition and you bleed... You feel some nameless tension and you bleed away into a thump of lo-fi chill hop beats murmuring softly through Sarova's mic. If only you could just spend time with your cool friends and stop making new ones, but even the thought makes your stomach wring itself out like a washcloth. There's no point wishing for things to be different from how they are. You'd do anything for new friends. Anything. You ask them if they have any chitter advice. You know, how to be a cool guy online. I mean, you definitely came to the right troll. But I don't know if I should, like, manage your brand more than I already did. It's just too risky for me, you know? Hard enough maintaining my image as it is. Other streamers always on my bulge, LMAO. Doesn't mean we can't hang, though. I mean, it was really chill last time. Also, I need my clothes back. You sure, Sarova, that you still definitely have their clothes and that you totally did not destroy them in an epic battle to save a giant collie? That's cool, no worries or anything. I was just wondering if you wanted to hang out today. If not, it's chill. I got all sorts of stuff I can get up to, LMAO. You know how it is. But yeah, let me know. Oh wow, how did you suddenly become so popular? Maybe this is what happens when you finally get online. Not only are you hanging out with one friend, you've got another one clamoring for your attention. Social media is amazing. You tell Sarova you would love to chill, but you're currently out in the middle of nowhere hanging out with someone else. Maybe Sarova has heard of him? Zebedee Tongva? Surely everybody on the internet knows each other. I don't know him. Sorry, lol. You spell out Zebedee's chitter handle. Sarova's face goes a complicated dance between shock, worry, and wry amusement. Oh, dang. LMAO. What are the odds? Small internet. So Sarova does know him. I mean, I know of him. Man. Awkward. Are you guys tight, though? You tell Sarova that you aren't tight yet. Pretty loose, but you're working on it. Which is why you're currently in the middle of nowhere sitting on his bee-themed couch. Sarova scratches awkwardly between their horns. It's like what you go online to... Is that like what you go online to do? That whole scene? Scene? The only scene you know about is the friendship scene and possibly the clown scene and the meat scene. Actually, it may be more scenes than you give yourself credit for. You get the feeling that you're right on the edge of another one and you can taste it and it makes your stomach growl. You tell Sarova wherever the scene is, you're definitely not part of it. You don't even know what you're talking about. So what are they talking about? Not to, like, talk crap or whatever. Because God knows golds who live in a glass hive of tenuously curated online social interaction shouldn't throw stones or whatever. Everyone knows I got some stuff back in the day. But you maybe shouldn't hang out with this dude. Especially when you're, like, right on the edge of breaking out yourself. I mean, you have to be careful with this stuff. I told you what happened to me. Internet fame isn't a joke. They gesture vaguely towards their missing eye. Here, let me just link you. A link pops up in a gripe chat box. You follow what appears to be a fanfiction account. Nothing wrong with a little fanfiction. You've never been much of a writer yourself, but you're pretty pro anybody doing whatever they feel like as long as it's not gruesome murder. You're a real chill dude that way. I mean, right, yeah, same. LMAO. I'm not trying to judge or whatever, but you'll see what I mean. Scroll down. You scroll past the first few pages. Most of these seem to be about some band you've never heard of, and almost the end you find, oh, damn. This appears to be a fanfic about Sarova. You don't click through, you just kind of get the idea from the tags. Well, Sarova is a big deal after all. You guess it makes sense that people would include them in their, fantasies. You do it all the time, in a friend way. Yeah. You get what I'm saying now, though. I mean, live your dreams, right, LMAO? Any guy on the internet can write whatever he wants about me, but, like, I don't want to see it. Just a heads up, you know. You get how that could be a little awkward. You tell Sarova that you will be careful of your infant internet fame. Though you doubt anyone would ever write anything about you. Who wants to read about your exploits? Yeah, LMAO. Come over whenever, I'll smoke you up. Great, more bug butt. You end your call with Sarova and navigate over to Zebedee's fanfiction account. You pick ones that are not about Sarova, one of the teen-rated ones. You don't have anything against erotica, but maybe you'll save it for later. You don't know any of these characters, and the context is undoubtedly indecipherable, the troll music business. But if this really is Zebedee's writing, he's pretty good. You have such talented friends. Hey, sorry it took so long. Shoot, Zebedee sneaks up from you from behind. You quickly lock your phone, but apparently not quickly enough. How did you find this? Oh gosh, you went searching for me? I thought we were friends. What, of course you're friends. Friends don't go digging through each other's stuff. I would have showed you my fic if you asked. Aww. Sweet boy. You tell him that you obviously did not go looking for it. Sarova gave it to you when they called you up just now. Oh. Zebedee's face closes down. Is it just you, or has the sound of bees gotten louder? Oh, right. So your cool friend Sarova told you. I see how it is. No, they just called you. You just answered the phone. No, it's fine. I totally get it. Even coming all this way out here, I'm still not a priority. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm totally used to it. You and Sarova? What are you, mate Spritz? You are absolutely not mate Spritz with Sarova. You're not mate Spritz with anyone as far as you know. Crap, having so many friends is exhausting. Oh, really? Like, your life is so great, I get it. You have so many friends, and you're so popular, and everybody wants to spend time with you. Zebedee's crying and trying not to hide it. Aww. It's very sad and extremely awkward. You feel terrible, also kind of like a jerk. You're always doing all this complaining about your whole lot in life, when to tell the truth, you've actually got a lot going for you. You had all these amazing friends who go out of their way to check up on you and ask if you want to hang out. Of course, all that complaining is just in your internal monologue. It's not like anybody can hear your thoughts. Thank God for that. Well, I'm so glad that you and Sarova have each other. Maybe you can go hang out with them and make fun of me some more. You're trying to tell Zebedee you were absolutely not making fun of him. You were just curious about his hobbies and interests. You absolutely want to read his fan fiction. But the kid isn't listening anymore. Oh, crap. You hope the car has enough gas to get you back to civilization. Awkward. Oh, so that's what cars look like. That's really weird. Oh, poor Zebedee. He looks so sad. I don't like seeing the sad round boy sad. Oh, we're almost halfway there. Oh. Okay. We've got the second route with Malik. Let's go, go, go. Zoom. Hey yourself. And I'm a robot. And tell him you are a special kind of robot his instruments can't detect. You're in this to win this. You're riding it out till the end. You tell him you're actually the latest model of a spy bot from your alien government. You are so advanced that you are indistinguishable from the real thing. Seriously, you aren't supposed to tell anyone, but you're telling him, since he's so rad. Oh, this is terrible. You just promised yourself the other day that you'd stop lying to make yourself look good. Or in this case, make yourself look like a robot. Besides, he's never gonna buy it. I knew it. There's no other explanation. Fascinating. He leans in close enough that you can almost tip backward off your chair. He catches your arm. He's surprisingly strong for a skinny nerd that you really shouldn't be surprised anymore. Size doesn't correlate to strength with trolls necessarily. His skin is chilly and his nails press dense into the skin of your arm. It hurts, but not enough to shake him off. He's looking at you so seriously. What? Does he think your eyes are USB ports? You apologize that your robot specs are not the right ones. Malik breaks out of his trance and lets go of your arm. Are you kidding? What am I, some sort of script wriggler? This rules. I'm gonna be the first to crack you. Yikes, you half expect him to take out some sort of tortured screwdriver and start prying you open. Instead, he gives you another one of those unreasonably flirty smiles. When I'm done with you, I'm gonna hone your entire system. Whoa. I'm hungry. Are you hungry? With that, he takes off down the steps, jumping the last few and vanishing down into the kitchen. You are left there blinking at his after image. It sounded like he was hitting on you back there, but then he just pranced down the stairs like a bejeweled antelope. You creep down to the kitchen to find him pulling things out of cabinets, opening the fridge with his toes and slamming it shut with a hard kick, so that all the stuff on the top rattles. His palm husk rings and he pulls out his pocket, answering it and spitting a bunch of jargon at the person on the other end. He does all this while rooting around in the drawer for cutlery, talking loud enough to be heard over the rattling. All you know about hacking is that it's usually done by a bunch of greasy dudes with glasses and Dorito dust on their fingers. Usually there's a girl, and she's hot. You aren't sure which trope Malik is yet, possibly a combination of all of them. While he yells at somebody over the phone about a blockchain, you take some time to wonder, rather sheepishly, how many other piercings he has and what parts of his body. I haven't tried messing with the robot really yet. I've only reprogrammed drones remotely. You realize blatantly he's no longer on the phone. He's instead talking to you. Oh, right. He mentioned something about that earlier with Diamond. Hacking into drones to reroute their delivery routes? Yeah. Rerouting is easy. I almost got all my gear that way. All the good stuff. Reserved for blues. Wait, isn't Malik a blue? He laughs and puts a pan on the stove. As if. Sure, Cerulean is blue, but barely. Every indigo you meet is gonna make sure you know it. So you want to ask him if you can help him with anything, but you barely know how to cook when you're on your own planet. He pauses with 2 eggs above a mixing bowl. Hey, you like cluck beast embryos? What now? He cracks the eggs. The yolks are purple and runny. Your stomach squirms uncomfortably. Oh, my bad. Can you even eat? What? Oh, yeah, robot. Of course you can eat. Wouldn't be a very clever disguise if you couldn't eat, right? Although now that he mentions it, you really haven't been eating as much as you did on Earth. The meals you've had are been few and far between, but you aren't even that hungry. Weird. Oh gosh, what if you are a robot? Plot twist. Malik is not privy to your existential crisis and therefore keeps cracking eggs, cluckbeast embryos. Ugh, troll words are so ridiculous. Not really. No language is inherently any more ridiculous than any other, subjectively. They should really have programmed that when they taught you how to read Alternian. What? Nobody taught you how to read. You're on shitter. All your chirps are Alternian. Let me see your palm husk. He holds out a hand for your phone. His nails are painted a shimmery black, and he has on one of those thick rings that could double as a brass knuckle. You tell him that you figured that it just was a palm husk on Earth setting, but of course that makes no sense. Nobody here knows about Earth or about English, for that matter. You're pretty sure it's not even the most commonly spoken Earth language. Nope. No translation software running. And this is a good old-fashioned Alternian. Well, it's not old-fashioned, it's contemporary. That's an idiom. See, if you weren't a robot, this would be really weird. But, well, it is already kind of weird that you're a robot. But your Alternian is perfect. You want to tell him that your Alternian is in no way perfect. You have literally no idea what is going on. Whoa. But before you can get the words out, a terrific crash comes from nowhere above you. Malik drops your palm husk into a bowl of cluck beast embryos. Dang. Drones. Crap, you don't need this right now. You, a fake robot, have no chance against a real robot with lasers. Even worse, Malik rounds on you, lips drawn back from his teeth. You. This is your fault. They must have tracked you here. No other way they could find this place. I'm off the grid. You try to point out to Malik that maybe the drones are mad about all the hacking business, but he isn't listening to you. He's shoving his palm husk into his pocket, making a leap for the kitchen window. Dang, he can survive a 10-story drop? You aren't sure. One thing's for sure, though, you can't. Yeah. You just ollies out. And it's getting dark in here. He's got a tongue piercing, and it's... oh, gosh. Okay. I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 more for this round. I might combine a couple into one. I don't know. Yeah, we can't be stuck up here all night. Okay, another night, long walk. Despite the blisters, you started to feel truly optimistic. We are with Lanera now. Scrolly, scrolly, scroll. Scrolling. I'm gonna talk to Lanera. Make wild claims about your friendship with Bronya to save yourself. You and Bronya go way back. If Lanera is unfamiliar with your history, it might be because your friendship with Bronya predates hers. And actually, part of why you texted her today was because your close friendship has recently been a little red, you could say. Bronya needs someone to help step in and fill the hole in her blood push she left by L-word after all. Considering the changing in the nature of your relationship, Bronya has even been more protective of you than usual lately. Oop, Lanera does not seem impressed by your astute cultural knowledge, nor does she look intimidated. Her glasses reflect opaque in the murky cavern light, as she takes a step closer. Her claws, you just noticed, are very sharp. Bronya is very protective of those she pities. You've got that much right. If you're telling the truth. And I don't know that you are. Maybe she would want to protect you if she knew that you were here. Oh crap, you screwed up. If Lanera intercepted Bronya's phone, then Bronya has no idea you reached out, and you can be disposed of with none the wiser. Oh no. Look what you made me do. You had no idea someone with a skirt that long could move so fast. She got a knife. Okay. Let's do the B plot. Whoop. Okay. Attempt escape. You look around to see if there's anything within reach that you could use to free your bound hands. On the desk a few feet away, you spot a spiral-bound notebook with a nasty-looking edge on the binding. You scoot your chair over, doing your best not to make any noise, but Lanera is too busy wailing to notice regardless. You get a hold of the notebook and saw through the rope with your wrist. Saw through the ropes on your wrist. It was so hard to watch her and L-word together. L-word doesn't deserve her. She was so mean. I know she's a cerulean, but I swear if she shows her face in the caverns again, I'll go straight for her primary splurt artery. It's a good reminder that Lanera is dangerous. You saw faster. In success, your hands are now untied. Lanera's back is turned to you while she gets up from the floor, and you take a quick look at the notebook in your hands. It seems to be a careful, annotated, and organized scrapbook diary chronicling Lanera's friendship with Bronya. On the other hand, it's a bit creepy in the context of how you're still held hostage by the person who made this, but on the other hand, it does pull at your heartstrings. But you keep a firm grip on those heartstrings because you've still got to get out of here. When Lanera turns back to face you, you leap from your chair, brandishing the scrapbook in front of you like a shield. If she comes any closer with that knife, you will destroy the scrapbook in the instant with your acidic spit. That's right, your alien anatomy has destructive powers that can vaporize Lanera's precious Bronya memories in seconds. No, you can't! What are you doing? How dare you touch that book? For a terrified second, you think she might lunge at you, but then Lanera steps to the side, giving you a straight shot to the cave exit. As you scuttle your way towards freedom, you remember your phone. Lanera took it from you when she knocked you out, and don't know you could possibly get another one. No way! I'm not giving you anything that might use to contact Branya. I won't have you messaging her behind my back and trying to replace me as her best friend. Seems like nothing you said when you were tried up had any impact on her at all. Maybe forcing people at knife point to be your therapist doesn't result in quality therapy. You still feel bad for her, but it's time to break out the big guns. If Lanera doesn't return your phone, you'll find another way to reach Branya, and you'll tell her everything. Not only the letdown on Lanera's stalking and kidnapping tendencies, but also the truth about how Lanera feels about her. Lanera gapes at you, her eyes filled with tears again, but she hands over your phone. I can't believe how cold you are. I thought that maybe we were bonding, that maybe I could start to trust someone other than Branya. But you didn't mean a single word of all those things you said. Lanera's face twists and contorts with rage and grief. You make the phone scrapbook trade. She drops the knife on the other hand and clutches the scrapbook to her chest like it's one of the wrigglers in the Jade Blood nursery. You don't feel guilty about doing what you had to do to escape unharmed, but you can't help but wish that you had been able to actually help her. It's clear to me now. Branya's the only friend I'll ever have. Dun dun dun. It's getting to the point where I can't see the paper in front of me. Alright, this is the second day I'm recording this. We got volumes 12 through 18 left to go. So let's get it. Okay, now we move on to our man Gallic, which we actually have to go through both his routes again, because I didn't realize that you could click on the stupid annotations in his voice. So, we gotta slow the heck down. Gotta go slow. Okay, we got one here, so we click it. Okay. To my hive, live right around the corner. This is not a threat. Rather, this is a genuine expression of critical nature of my request. Then that's the X. So 2. Okay, I have to close it and then click on them. I live right around the corner. Not a threat. Genuine expression of the nature of my request. C1. Okay. So you can just click one of those windows. So that's good. I don't have to keep clicking and closing and clicking and closing. And... okay. It's possible your palette's not experienced enough to tell the difference, but I can walk you through the simpler points. Boy. I have to turn down the volume on my end. You guys are probably fine. Let me take a look. Yeah, you're probably good. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, never mind. He keeps talking. Wait, did he say something with something I could look? Oh, yeah, he did. Okay. So a misunderstanding, specifically you misunderstanding me. Let's see. Nor have I ever encountered a real alien. I've spent considerable time in the interim researching you, of course, which is why I'm able to track you down so easily. And furthermore, I saw you were just in the company of Tagora Gorjek, Rainbow Screwer Extraordinaire. And he wishes. Okay, good. Right, we have to, like, insult him by asking if that's all, and that's how we get the, like, one bad one. Is that all? Man, what the heck is this guy talking about? You thought whatever he wanted was gonna be a way bigger deal. You want to get this straight, you say. He dragged you all the way here under a thick veil of secrecy, just so he could tell you he knows what he's talking about? I forget, this mouse is so glitchy. I think I either have to... I don't know if it's changing the batteries or if my mouse after all these years is finally dying. Anyway... that he was actually right and not wrong and not smart and not dumb, specifically about rainbow drinkers? Yes? Technically, not only specifically on that topic, but on this pertinent piece of information of this in this conversational context. Okay, is this confusing to you? I cannot have people thinking incorrect things about me. Cool, no, you were just checking. You tap your fingers on the leather arm of your chair. Is that all he wanted from you? Oh yes, I suppose. As long as we are in agreement and you do not intend to spread any misinformation. You promise. That is great news. There's now a long pause. He looks disappointed somehow. You're not sure if this is what he was expecting, but it sure as hell is what is transpiring. I will show you out. Goodbye, husbando. Aw, man. He's looking at me just all like, from the window like, Okay, so the bad ending has been accomplished. Let's go to the good ones now. Okay. LMAO, dude. You laugh, then you realize he's 100% serious, blah. I get it. Okay. I don't know why you keep calling it that. Stop immediately. Okay. Okay, let's see. Just because I'm a high blood does not mean I'm a sadist. You know by now. You should know by now that predilection is not bound to any caste. Let's see. He's like, my interest in you is purely academic and friendly. I know you're amenable to that sort of thing. Furthermore, the gate is not for you. Don't worry about it. If it all goes well this evening, we'll not have to make use of it. But he's like, he's not a sadist. He has more important things he could be doing usually. Okay. Okay. Friendship, hell yeah, Gallic. Okay. All observable criteria points to you not being much to look at, but there seems to be something about you that draws people in. Apologize if you're offended. Not even the top insults. Okay, he has another one here. Click. I'm strongly learning to... Let's see. Sentence. You either have the most suave and well-connected plenipotentiary I have ever heard of, or you're running around with no clue what you're doing and somehow it works for you anyway. I'm strongly leaning towards the latter, especially after this meeting. Come on. For example, what the heck are you doing with your legs now? Is that supposed to be impressive to me? Did I miss anything? Okay. A low frustrated click, blah blah blah. This is the sort of thing I'm talking about. I just cannot work out what the draw is. Again, no offense intended, and if you feel that way, that is on you. I'm just trying to understand. Okay. Okay. Hypothetically, if I did happen to be invested in what someone else thought of me, I would not tell you about it. You would probably just tell him anyway. By him, I mean any hypothetical mutual acquaintance. Okay. We got the goat. Okay, we have to stay on topic. We already got the well, we have to get all the little footnotes. So I'm just gonna go for the bad one first. Okay. Monologue. Okay. Breaking into my book hive, eating important chapters of my manuscript. Good, then yes. It's in the pre-novel phase, if you're wondering. It's more of experimental word rumpus. And he's the best. To be fair, raising and providing for me also makes his presence in my life a net positive. He is writing a novel. I love this guy still. He might still kind of come off as a jerk, but I like him. He is husbando, and I appreciate his library. Okay, moving on. Okay, there's absolutely nothing. Read all kinds of reports about other alien races I can pull for those if you like. If what you are after a bloody counts of the destruction of an entire species or painstakingly detailed log books of resources taken from various planetary systems by forces. Okay. As for your species, I can confidently say that there's no recorded history of your kind on Alternia. If it existed, I would know about it. Oh. Well. Okay. Are you some sort of high-blood equivalent back home? Is that why you're so friendable here? Supposedly friendable. I still have yet to feel the impulse. And have you formed any bonds that you would say fit your planet's equivalent of the quadrant system? If so, with whom? Okay. Only one kind of you around. Sit down. Maybe you should lie down. This is existential terror. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Is this wriggling friendship, or is this spontaneous suffering? Oh, come on, man. Click. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to tell the difference. Okay, and... Okay, one more thing. Cultural understanding. You have to be the worst ambassador I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me. Okay. No, you're good. Okay, there's no explanation of your behavior. Do not begin to insult me by claiming otherwise. And he gone. Peace. Okay. Back to the loading save. Staying on topic. Did I miss anything? Nope. Okay. Please ignore him. He just wants to cause in and... Let's see. He'll wander away in a minute. Think about this. Okay. Slap yourself. Man, you're not doing anything to change my impression of you. Blah, blah, blah. I do not want anything of yours. What does it mean by that? What does it mean? What is it that you mean by that, though? What is exactly that you've got? He is not. Never mind, redact that. I reiterate my previous non-covetous stance. Uh-huh. Zero interest in... Okay, you won't do? Okay. I see what you're doing. Unfortunately for me, it will absolutely work. Great. Let's do something wilder. That's last one sounds interesting. Wow, he's really going full in. Go big or get cold. Okay. Really discreet. I need privacy. Yeah, boy. Okay, we got Malik up on the screen. Hello, my Malik. What is up? Bring it on. Something similar. Hell yeah. Anything for you. Easy. I'll be over soon. Bring options. I know where you are. Jacked your phone. See ya. Okay. And he's here. And how'd you get the front door open? Just kidding. Your goat let me in. And I'm Malik. And hell yes, the goat's here. Wringing hands. Sudden points to you. Hold it, please. Welcome to my hive, Malik. Things are not typically so hectic in here. I apologize. That is not a problem. I hear you want to get freaky. Let's see. That is correct. I'm open to a wide range of modifications. I'll need to be able to hide it easily under clothing, however. Look only at the last 6 pages, flip to an unauthorized section, and you will lose the privilege to use your eyes ever again. Okay. Yeah, I can work with that. Get some layers off. And the goat eats plenty. He's only being dramatic. Okay, the design does capture an ineffable fact of my core self. Get on it. Oops. Before I change my mind. Uh-huh. Don't worry, blood color, crystal clear, lasers, getting a tattoo. What's the deal anyway? Tattoos. I simply am fleshing out my worldly experiences. Intense physical pain for one, though I'm able to bear it. Uh-huh, bucket lists. Watch it. You're gonna make me screw up your vision. No need to flip your think pan. Buckets, am I right? Let's see. I am perfectly capable of fulfilling my propagational duties. Thank you very much for your vote of confidence. This is not a thing I have to do, it's what I want to do. There's a significant semantic difference there. It just so happens to... If it just so happens to spark concupescent interest, so be it. Or deeper conversational interest. Yeah, whatever. And... yeah, what he said. And thank you. And... smiley boy. Okay, got the tat. Thank you. Would you like to stay? No. Bye. And goat. One new friend for a day is all it is. Thank you for encouraging me to do something new. It's quite a rush, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Gorjek-shaped blind spot. It is feelings-based. Graciously do not let on. Anyway, now that we've taken on, take a photo. I can't reach. Observe me admitting these inadequacies with ease. And he hates it. Yeah, we got Gallic, and I still think he's a great husbando. Okay. Clickety clack. clickety crew. Let's check out Torona too. Clickety click 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 clickety click. Okay. Torona. And Scap. I'm going to ask questions. Wait. You have so many questions. Which of your lovely friends is willing to help you escape? Who is she? What's her deal? How did she know? She shushes you and her eyes narrow to an appraising squint as she looks you over. Not too bright, huh? Figures. Listen, I don't have time to explain it. I'm not putting my neck out any further. So here's what we're gonna do, okay? You're gonna run. Not too far out because you don't want to wind up in undead territory. Stick to the city, find a nice hiding place, and keep your head down. See ya! Kicked me out. She rather forcefully stuffs what appears to be military-grade umbrella into your hands and shoves you out the back door into the rain and sunlight. When you turn to protest, the lock on the door clicks shut and you're stuck outside. What did she say about undead? Yeah, she just kicked you out into the zombie apocalypse with a metal umbrella. Anyway. Yay! Volume 12 complete. Let's move on. And scroll. Okay. We've got, like, the initial bad ending for Boulder. Goga. Let's see. Backyards are as bad as basements. No way. Okay, listen. You're done some pretty dumb stuff since you crash landed here. For instance, following the woman standing in front of you into her basement. But not this time. Nice try, Catfisher. Important correspondence. Nah, you crumple the page up in your hand. Nothing that can't wait. Good. Let's see. Impeccable timing. Just what I was hoping you would say. And we're friend blocked. Boulder's in the back like, really? And she's doing the anime laugh. Love the angle, though. Anyway. We move on. We got 2 bad endings with Stelsa. So let's go. Da 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 da. Stelsa. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. First of all, save. Scuttlebuggy. It's parked a ways down the street, but if you run fast enough, you might be able to make it. You abandon security of the metal awning, launching yourself back into the minor apocalypse that is regular Alternian weather. You should have been able to guess how this was going to go. The raindrops are too dense for you to successfully dodge them all, and your delicate human body isn't built to withstand nuclear rain. You probably should have had luck with the security, would have had better luck with the security drones. Acid. Well, that didn't work. Moving on. Load. Get into one of the buildings. And we're in. Okay. Why not use the extra time to do more prep for the meeting? That is an excellent idea. I visited this potential client's establishment a wipe ago, but it was a quick one. I could do well to cast my gander bulbs around the place properly. It's pretty much in the bag, but this meeting is the clincher, and there's no way I can flub it. Having Remele Namak as a client would be too good of a cluckbeast plume in my panlid for me to chuck the opportunity in the load gaper. Remele? You know her. How about that? Yes, I would hope you did, darling. She's only been splashed all over the papers lately with that stunt of hers. Buying out her competitor like that, I've never heard the likes of it before. Oh, wow, okay. She's flitting around her hive as she speaks, nipping into what you assume is her bedroom to blow-dry her hair before shuffling some papers into a handbag. You tail her as best you can, feeling a bit like a pet cat underfoot who's threatening to trip her at every turn. Cats, am I right? Maintaining a career as a successful yet relatively avant-garde artist is very different to assuming ownership and managing a museum, and yet she's made it work. Oh, so she took over the museum. Nice. Well, I knew that's what she I didn't think she would open the museum. I thought she would just leave it to, like, rot and be like, ha, your museum is rotting and I'm the one in charge here. Okay. Whoa, sounds like Remelay's been busy since the last time you saw her. You clarify that Remelay is a friend of yours, actually. Stelsa stops in her tracks. Really? Why didn't you say so in the first place? You should come with me. Getting the 411 on Remelay from a friend of hers could really give me a frond up. What do you say? You're not sure there's much you can tell Stelsa about Remelay. You're pretty sure Remelay doesn't want an auditor in training, or anyone really, knowing that she's an art thief. But why not? There has to be some stray info about Remelay knocking around on the old noggin that might come in useful. Marvelous. Come on, you can tell me on the way. She takes your hand and pulls you out the door. Should have just said acquaintance. You offer Stelsa a ride in your totally not stolen scuttle buggy. It's still raining, but she shields both of you with an umbrella that's almost as big as you are as you walk to where it's parked. You get in, put some tunes on the road, and head off. Yep, we back inside our really terrible car again. Is it supposed to be violet blood? Is that why? Then what's that color off on the right-hand side? Anyway. Once you're on the way, you admit to Stelsa that most of your and Remelay's conversations just involve her bouncing ideas off you for her webcomic, and you're still happy to answer any questions she might have about Remelay's overall deal. You're expecting her to be disappointed, but her eyes practically light up. What a privilege! To be completely truthful, I'm quite the fan of... I've been following her webcomic for a while. She admits this kind of sheepishly. Does she think liking comics is embarrassing? Of course not. Okay, maybe a little. It seems irresponsible to spend time on something as flippant as a comic on the internet when you have so much other business to attend to. Lots of irons in the fire over here. Achievements don't achieve themselves, you know. I get you. But if you just keep working all the time, you're gonna crash. I currently can't handle that high of a workload without crashing, it seems. That one day that might change, and I'm looking forward to that opportunity. Anyway. Besides, I'm thinking about to school and all the projects there. If I can handle all the art school stuff, I could probably handle, like, all the, like, art stuff in real world, too. Oh my gosh. But collaborative projects are always a nightmare. Always. Anyway. Maybe, but hobbies and downtime are important too. Yeah, see, you never feel more rested than after you let yourself do absolutely nothing but enjoy a good comic. What? She looks at you blankly. You know, rest. Oh, I always make sure to get enough recuperation every day. No concerns there, to be sure. Well, what you're talking about is a bit different from getting enough sleep, but you tried a different track. Why is she taking this job with Remelay anyway? Isn't she busy enough with her training? Well, sure, I have that internship with the Alternian government as well, but there can never be enough experience under one's belt. You're beginning to see what the problem is. You're getting the feeling that Stelsa might be a bit of a workaholic. Just vaguely. Has she ever considered... You're so involved in trying to convince Stelsa of the merits of getting her chill on when you don't realize there's anything wrong. Not until Stelsa lets out a screech that almost bursts your eardrums. Fiddlesticks, we can't go this way. This road's work happening here. The scuttle buggy must be operating with an outdated map. Quick, switch it to manual and turn us around real quick. The roadwork Stelsa is referring to is a bridge with a do not enter sign hastily put up. Beyond the sign, the bridge is peppered with enormous holes. Some look big enough for an entire car to fall through, easily. What are you waiting for? Hurry! Well, there's one small problem. You can't drive. Oh, F! Fudge nuggets! Yes, okay. Workaholicness aside, which I can work with, both my parents are big workaholics. You don't even know. But fudge nuggets, I got you. Stelsa presses a few buttons, switching the controls to manual. You grab the wheel, turning it wildly. Your only goal is to make sure that you don't drive onto a death bridge. You probably should have paid attention to the steep slope carving its way down from the road. You both yell as the scuttle buddy zooms towards it at full tilt. Miraculously, it doesn't tip, but it does slam into a power line, sending the two of you lurching forward. If it wasn't for the unnerving, lung-like airbags that deflate in front of you, you would have shot out the front window. Anxiously, you ask if Stelsa is okay. Oh, she's messed up. Stelsa doesn't seem too concerned about whether she's injured or not. She's making a futile attempt to push the airbags out of the way so she can get out of the car. There's no way we'll make my meeting on time now. And look, I look an absolute mess. She's right, her hair, which is all gentle and soft tufts before, is sticking up in all directions and her glasses have smashed into collision. Why did I think this was a good idea? I should have just walked. Thanks for nothing. This car might have survived the crash, but if Stelsa's cranky expression is anything to go by, your budding friendship with her wasn't as lucky. Fashion faux pas. Our car is yellow now? I thought it was purple. Anyway. We got the Stelsa ones out of the way. Good to go. And we just got the bad ending for Martzi. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Martz. Scroll. Mind your own business. Scroll. Try Uptown, funk you up. This just so happens that you have connections. Uptown girl. And boys. You asked Martzi how'd she'd like to clean if she'd like to clean a mansion. I guess that could be cool. What are you thinking? Into the car again. Well, first of all, you want to bring your new friend to your swank stolen car. Martzi doesn't seem that interested, although she does comment that she's never been in a scuttle buggy. She begins picking up the crumbs from your back seat. You tell her she doesn't have to clean up after you. Why is it always when we put someone in our scuttle buggy, it always leads to the bad ending? It just seems to be the case. Bold of you to assume I'm doing it for you. You shrug. You've come to accept that some of your friends are just fundamentally difficult to understand. Some days you think that you're beginning to get it, and the next you remember that alien is just your immigration status. Martzi stares at the window of the houses get bigger and grander. The car passes beneath an archway, and a light sweeps up over the two of you. Martzi stiffens. You tell her not to worry. It's just a sensor to discern your blood color. Malik gave you a plug-in to scramble it. No stress. Also, I'm just now looking at the background. Is that the Space Needle in the background? We're in Seattle? Anyway. Must be nice to have friends in high places. You asked Martzi where she lives. Wherever I feel like. Depends. So, she's just like Diamond. Her hive was destroyed, or possibly up a tree like Boulder. Although it's possible she just is screwing with you. I wish you stopped comparing me to people like I should know what you're talking about. No, my hive is fine. It just gets boring cleaning the same building over and over again. You get how that could be cool, going from place to place like Diamond goes looking for meat and Connell and Adaja look for people to kill. Everyone here seems to be weirdly obsessive and hyperfixated. Maybe that's what you get when you bring up a bunch of kids in a robot-regulated world where the only rule is don't get cold. And, by the way, some of you are inherently inferior. Have fun. As you get closer to Zebra's hive, you begin to get a chilly strut pods. What if he tries to make Martzi into one of his guests? He has that weird thing for low bloods. You figure she'll be safe if she's with you, but you aren't always the best at making good decisions when you have more than one friend to deal with at once. The sight of Zebra's Lucis glaring at you from the upstairs window clinches it. You can't take another condescending stare from Zebra Dad. Where are we going? I hope you aren't talking to that pathetic I hope you aren't talking to this pathetic mess on the seat. Barely worth my time. You could make a better mess. You swear. Ugh, no. I don't want a staged mess. Okay. Who do you know who is kind of a slob but also not a total piece of crap? Yep. Goat Dad. Hey, lets you in with a hysterically happy bleat. Aw, missed you too, Goat Dad. Martzi weathers his snuffling and nuzzles, and when he tries to eat one of her rubber gloves, she scratches him behind the ears in distraction, and she gently removes the glove from his mouth. I need these, actually. You call out to Gallic, but he doesn't respond. Maybe he's out. No, you get out of this, okay? Coffee pot's half full, but it's cold. Goat Dad bleats and butts you gently. Aw, poor guy. Are you lonely? Has Gallic been neglecting you now that he has a hate boyfriend? Ah, that is canon. I remember reading that it was canon. Okay. Marcy is a little more uncomfortable here than she had been in your car, but when she catches sight of Galec's study, all of that sloughs off. It's even more of a mess than it had been the last time you were here, when he'd been trying to impress you with his intellectual clutter. She gets down to work immediately, stacking books alphabetically and sorting papers into piles by subject. You know Galec is an A-type personality who will probably go briefly ballistic at the knowledge someone has messed with his stuff, but Marcy is just so organized and thorough. Yep, I would hate people to touch my stuff. I think I'm type A personality as well, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't know my blood type. You feel sort of weird about just standing there and watching her clean, so you gather up all the used dishes and bring them to the kitchen. When you're done with that, you'll figure she'll just try to be entertaining. You ask her if she's seen any movies recently. Since you've made friends with Zebedee and started hanging out with Tagiri's anime club, you've been exposed to multiple cultural touchstones. Yeah, I don't really watch that much TV. Same girl. Don't worry, I don't need to be entertained. She kneels down and starts dusting beneath the couch. I know you think I'm basic, and that's fine. I don't really give a crap what anyone thinks. Let alone a condescending alien with no blood color to speak of. Yikes. So if you don't mind... Crunch, crunch, crunch. Oh no. Crunch, crunch, crunch. What the hell is that noise? There you go again, getting swept up in a friendship endeavor and totally beefing it. You forgot about Goat Dad's propensity for nomming on anything within reach, and he spent the last 10 minutes happily munching on several leather-bound notebooks. Ooh, not the notebooks. First rule of writer's notebooks. Stockpile them like a dragon stockpiles gold. Number 2, never write in them. But if you do write in them, you write like 2 sentences in them, but they're important sentences, so you have to keep them. Anyway, Galec's experimental word, Rumpus says. No, he loves those. He's gonna murder you. To smooth another layer over this farce, the front door creaks open and Galec's voice rings out, calling to Goat Dad, who lets out an excited bleat and scampers off, trailing little white scraps. No shame. Marcy looks from you to the front of the house and down the paper trail, then she's out the window and off the hill because though basic she may be, she's no idiot. Scamper! Look, Galec's in the background. He is going to kill us. Okay, so we got the bad ending for Marcy all cleared up. Now we just got to get the first bad ending with Karako. We got the rest of that all figured out. Da, 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 da. I love my clown son. Everybody should love the clown son. He is so tiny. Scrolling. Run a drone. You run in a wild panic. It's a drone. Even the Alternian jerks you've hung out with have been terrified of drones. Up close, it's one of the most terrifying things you've ever seen, and it's making noises, which you didn't know they even did, and probably means something sinister. You race to top speed from the twisting path, focusing your senses on their breaking point to avoid trigger roots, razor leaves, and acid pods. At first you hear the splattering of small feet running behind you, but as you redouble your speed and puttering falls back and after a while is lost in the distance. You sprint at what seems a lifetime before you finally catch your foot on a trigger root and go flying through the air, barely missing being sliced into 100 pieces by tumbling ham by the barbed spring vine that lashes across the path, only inches behind you. You land in the dirt, wind knocked out of you, but otherwise unhurt. You lie there catching your breath and waiting, but nothing happens. No enormous metal monster whizzing down the path to impale you. No small clown-faced individual overtakes you on his short legs. Finally, after enough nothing happens, you pick yourself up and dust yourself off. You're alone on the path, and no sound of either your friend or potential friend or foe can be heard. No birds sing, which is probably good. You imagine that any birds native to this forest would probably sing by croaking up putrid sludge, and the sludge would be poisonous or radioactive. But is that a Twitter joke? But leaving aside the character of the local fauna, what should you do? Keep on down the path, putting more distance between yourself and the drone, or should you go back and see if Karako's okay? You waffle for a while, then decide to go back. You sneak back along the path. You sneak a long, long way, but however far you go, there's no sign of either Karako or the drone. You don't know whether the drone picked up Karako up and took him away, or disemboweled him and scattered the fragments, or whether Karako leapt into the undergrowth and hid and escaped, or what. One way or the other, you're all alone again on this small path through this terrible smelling forest. It's game over. Okay. Volume 14, complete. Let's move on to 15. We got a few going on there. Charon. Okay, scroll. You think his art is... Oh, hold on. This will save so much time. Interesting. They squint at you like you've taken some sort of issue with your comment. Have you managed to offend them? You thought that you were being polite enough given the circumstances. Interesting is usually what people say when they have nothing better to say. Do you have a problem with making art out of trash? You shake your head rapidly, but the troll is already crossing their arms and shooting you a disapproving look. I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. Oh no, does that mean they're going to leave? And after you've up and decided to try to add them to your ever-growing friend harem too? No. I'm tired. Okay, then they're just gonna kind of glower at you from the floor for a while until they get their strength back to leave, you assume. This definitely isn't awkward at all. Friendship faux pas. Okay, we've got the original bad ending. Now the second bad ending, which I'm really excited to see because I've saw pictures of it. Oh, I could have just loaded. Okay, load. There we go. Weird. Haha, yeah. Okay, doesn't matter. Go, go, go. Okay, more. Why not look for more portable trash? Sure, this giant lens is pretty neat, but there's probably plenty of other cool stuff they could use that probably wouldn't be such a pain to move. Your new friend considers this scratching their cheek. There is one place that I go to a lot for material. You nod. Then maybe the two of you should go there, then. You could help. You'll even graciously hold on to the lens for them so they can come get it some other time. Okay. I would have to come back for it. Even if you hadn't said anything, though. Oh, that's what they meant. Yeah, it does look like Hobbs. What up, weird Lucis Hobbs? Where's your version's Calvin? Anyway... Is that supposed to be like ripped underwear on that branch up there? Wow. This is crazy. It's like a waterfall going down here. Wow. Okay, they take you to a garbage dump. Or a river that's, to be completely accurate, which is plenty of garbage washed on its shore. Something about the strength and direction of the river's currents. There seems to be a pull of waste that's been dumped into it, concentrating the debris into a muddy patch of land. You're not sure what you expected, really. You had fleeting thoughts of a gleaming art supply store, but they did intimate they worked primarily with... Okay. Intimate that they worked primarily with garbage. Here we are. You better not tell anyone about this place. It's a real treasure trove. They nail you with another intense stare. No, you say of course not. Their trash haven is safe with you. Satisfied, they pull their bandana around their neck and cover their nose and mouth. Looks like they're ready to get to work. Oh, it's like it's like a face mask. That's cute. It's got the little cat mouse face. Makes your face look really long. Anyway. You're not sure what you could be looking for, though. The more discarded computer equipment, or are they more into the toilet paper roll and yogurt cup kind of mood? Whatever catches your eye. If you see anything, just shout. Now that they mention it, you've never got their name. I'm Charon. If you have a chitta, you could follow me. They held out their hand for your palm husk. You hand it to them, and they fiddle with it for a second before returning it to you and traipsing off. A little clicking sound reveals that they're now on your chitter following list, but also that they've taken the liberty of downloading a new app. An app with a purple-pink camera icon, and okay, you recognize this one as well, except on Alternia it's apparently called Pincer Spam. Searching their chitter handle leads you to their account here, too. At least you think it's their account. It's hard to tell from their profile picture, which is a blurry shot of one of their horns and the brim of their hat. Most of what you can see is sky. Maybe skimming their account will give you a better idea of their aesthetic. You scroll through the photographs that are similarly enigmatic. An intense close-up of a sewer drain lid, the curve of a piece of ceramic, a Purby sniffing the camera. Aw, Lucis? You got quite the number of followers. No, they've got quite the number of followers, despite the fact that nobody seems to know who they are and they never reply to comments. You got a friend in common too. User Sarova Streams for Sweeps has liked a slew of their most recent posts. None of this is very helpful. You also realize that you're standing here stalking your new friend on your phone like a creep. You could just, talk to them some more. So you hurry off after them. By the time you catch up, they're squinting at something. What's that over there? You follow their gaze. It's a hideout of some kind, a small cave tucked into a rock. The two of you approach it curiously. Charon stops to peer at something on the ground near its entrance, but you decide to venture further in. You think you might hear voices, and their sources become apparent once you've taken a few steps inside. Who goes there? Reveal yourself. Hi, Adaja. Hi, Connell. Oh, it's just you. Back for round 2? The likelihood of this battle's outcome being anything other than me kicking your butt is exactly 0. Typically, this would be a massive waste of my time, but luckily for you, I have nothing better to do. Azaja surges forward, presumably to attack you, but an air of intimidation in his little speech might have had is quickly diffused by Connell, grabbing him firmly by the back of his coat and yanking him back. Daja, don't be rude! Adaja shrugs Connell's hand away. The quiet sizzle of his psionics is like a hiss of an angry cat. I love that Connell is less likely to go completely ballistic and attack you after befriending you, while Azdaja is the exact opposite. It's so great. This, my dear Connell, is merely smack talk. As a prince among my caste, rudeness is simply not a part of my repertoire. Connell just snorts. Well then stop being a strife-hungry jerk! My friend is delicate, okay? You protest that you aren't at all delicate as the last time you ran into each other. You've seen some stuff. Azdaja's spiky sigh nonsense doesn't scare you now. The two of them are too focused on each other to pay attention to you. You are telling me not to fight for once is pretty rich. You don't think I feel the same as you? It's been too long since I've had someone to punch. Whose bright idea was it in the first place? To hole up in a trash dump for days. I've told you over and over again that we're here because our quarry is somewhere close. We have to figure out exactly where. It's a perfect rational plan. You'll see if you think for a second. Yikes, you thought that maybe you would have had a nice 3-way friend reunion, but they're too busy squabbling. Meanwhile, where has Charon gotten off to? You slink away from the escalating sniping, looking around for them. You're not entirely surprised to find them. Hang on. Get back over here. There we go. Not entirely surprised when you find them hunched over some object on the ground poking it. Oh, come on, Apple. Stop. Sorry, Apple's trying to update. You know these two, you say in a strange whisper, pointing to Colin Adaja's direction. You can introduce them when there's not quite much yelling going on. Charon pulls their bandana to answer. No thanks. Found something more interesting over here. They gesture at the object. This is a great find. I've never seen anything like it. I could make something amazing out of this. You take a proper look at the object. It appears to be a miniature satellite dish with a few pipe cleaners sticking out of it. Unlike this other stuff out here, though, this object is moving. The dish is rotating while a few lights glimmer softly at its base. You're pretty sure this isn't trash. And weren't Connell and Azdaja just discussing tracking someone? Whatever this is probably belongs to them. Yeah, that's why. You've got to distract them. So I can nab it. Okay, this is no longer scavenging. This is straight up thievery. He's a cat burglar. Sorry. You glance up at Connell and at Asdaja again. They're so preoccupied with arguing with each other that they haven't even looked your way. But once they realize the tracker is missing, they'll probably decide to go after Charon to get it back. If that happens, stall them so I can get away in time. This doesn't sit right with you. You don't want to screw your 2 other friends over. And the energy between them is so weird right now. The verbal sparring looks about a hair's breadth away from turning into physical sparring. But they also kind of look like they want to make out. Whatever's going on, you don't want to be caught in the middle of it. That, however, sounds exactly like what Charon wants you to do. I'll make it up to you. Someday. Before you can make a decision, Charon trucks off the piece of tech under their arm. They make for running a leap towards a fence that sections off the gross trash shore from the woods, vaulting over it in an impressive display of athletic prowess. You cringe. Charon is really leaving you to lurch here. This is not the kind of thing a good friend would do, but then maybe you were never really friends in the first place. Yep. Auspicious. Yeah, their relationship is vacillating. I wish I remembered the word for that when I was going through Asdaja's route. But yeah. Okay. We've got all of Charon's routes finished. Now we just need the first bad ending for Wanshi. And we can move on to Marvis. Well, we're not going to see Marvis, though, because it's freaking his, it's the initial bad ending for that. So it's like, oh, you're not even going to meet this clown. You're going to get run over by a Segway. Because I saw that image. You can walk with purpose. Friendship, Wanshi. Scroll. Ask her if Bronya's around. Did she come here with someone? Bronya, maybe? You know Jades her age aren't really supposed to be out and about outside the caverns. Oh, I see. You're a snitch. Want she out? With that, she tucks her legs up against her and rolls out of the shelf with an agility only youth can manage and takes off between the stacks. You chase after her, but wherever her next hiding spot is must be even better. Eventually you give up. Youth roll. Shum. How even does that work against the ground when you have horns? Anyway. Check, check, check. Wanshi complete. And Marvis. Okay. Find something else to do that sounds less awful. Well, I can't say that the invitation wasn't tempting. Going to a writhing gathering of violent jesters certainly sounds like a recipe for a stimulating time, but what if you didn't throw yourself blindly into obvious peril for once in your incredibly painful life? Pass. Oh. Zebra sighs heavily. He looks completely destroyed. Despite yourself, you feel a pang of guilt in your chest. I see. I guess that's fine. I'll just have to find someone else to facilitate my brush with greatness. What is that supposed to mean? You don't bother to ask. When you don't give in to his obnoxious guilting either, Zebra seems to accept his fate. Sigh. Whatever. I can't believe I came all the way here on my hover scoot just to be callously rejected like this. But I guess I'll see you around, hotcakes. Zebra powers up his little scooter, gearing up to go, but when he tries to lean back to the machine so the machine will start heaving in reverse, something's wrong. The scooter just won't move, no matter how many times he slaps on the control panel with the handlebars. You ask if it's broken. What? No, it can't be. It's brand new, and it was just working a minute ago. Maybe I'm on the wrong mode. Zebra hammers the buttons on the control panel for a bit with no luck. Man, maybe it is the motors. So Zebra tries leaning forward to check it out. It's not a problem at all. In fact, as soon as he pushes his weight against the control stick, the scooter surges forward. It collides with your frail human body, knocking you to the ground, and there's too much momentum in the motion for Zebra to stop there. The jets underneath the scooter rake over your pummeled body, incinerating you and killing you instantly. Game over. We got scootered to death. Okay. Couple more rounds to go. 217. we've missed anything bad coming from Nike's route. Nike Moolah. Scrolly, scrolly. We say, okay. Oh, exception. Dang it, son. Let's try that again. You say, Actually, this is starting to sound a little much for you. You aren't sure you can quite match her enthusiasm for the craft. Who do you think you are, sister? You, who has the globes to step to me. You come into my dressing room with those flimsy, stringy, insultingly puny arms of yours. Look me in the eyes and challenge me to a match. Beg for the chance to spar with me. And then duck out like a pathetic alien whelp you are. Get out of my sight. You head bowed low, you retreat for safety, comfort, and friendless expanse that is the audience. You can't even bear to look at Nike when she goes out and performs. You're so saddened by the loss of a potential chum. Well, that and it's kind of grisly watching her pull low-blood challengers from the audience and smash their faces into the spikes. Ooh. That looks terrifying. Okay. Moving on. Load. Yes. Scrolling. So much text. And now we're here. And we're gonna save again. Because I don't trust me and my mouse for not screwing up. Hesitate. Oop, you begin to offer your hand, but under her steely gaze, you resolve wafers. This all seems like a lot. Too much, even. You don't know if she's made of if you're made of stuff tough enough for her training she seems to be offering. You would like to prove yourself, to become strong. You really would. But does she perhaps just maybe have any courses a little easier on soft, squishy creatures like yourself? The expression on her face grows terrifyingly blank. She's not scowling or snarling or sickening any other S word. She's just looking at you with the vaguest hint of disappointment dripping with otherwise neutral expression. I see. You're like all the rest, aren't you? Unworthy to receive my gifts. Unwilling to reach your full potential. A pathetic simpering thing playing at dreams of muscular greatness it can never achieve because it doesn't have the will for it. The iron will. You're an insult to my art. You spit on my passion. Get the hell out of my face and do not ever dare to return. Bye-bye. Shrinking under her steely gaze, you quickly flee at her hive. Is this it for you? Is the screen gonna fade to black, replaced in a goofy cartoonish end card and some sober game over music composed by the artistic genius James Roach? No. You refuse. I didn't even know I was gonna say no at that point. Okay. You are not yet ready to call this friendship kaput. You'll show her, and her draconian methods up, dang it. It's time to duel. Get ripped. You're gonna do it your own way and then return, and she'll be so utterly impressed by your muscular growth that she'll have no choice but to admit that you are friend material. Sadly, you do not know any other blue blood characterized by absurd love of muscles and bodybuilding. They're all basically all total nerds, actually. But you can perhaps think of someone from a nearby hue who can help you. Yep. Her door swings open with gusto, and you're greeted by a familiar smiling face. Oh, what an unexpected surprise! You really should have called. Or texted. Or did literally anything else to alert me to the fact that you wanted to visit me on such short notice when my schedule's so terribly packed. But that's all right. I can squeeze in a meeting, I'm sure. Do come in. Do come in. Oh, am I interrupting you and your girlfriend? You step past the threshold to the door and into her office/living room. Tisius is sprawled across the couch lazily, holding a book up to her face. It looks like she's studying, which is a relief to you because you would have felt terrible if you had interrupted some intimate time between them. Unless studying is intimate for them. You kind of hope studying isn't intimate for anyone. The prospect terrifies. Would you like to join me and Zizi for some grub loaf? It's no imposition, I promise. You absolutely would. You didn't know Stelsa was a cook on top of everything else she does. Oh no, I could never. There simply isn't enough time. I'm just ordering from Door Smash. It's excellent stuff, really. It is. ZZ has some very colorful words for the taste. It's pretty awesome. Tizzy ass. You're so great. She is the best teal girl. No offense. At all. Yes, it is certainly that. Pencil our good friend here for a dinner date, can you, darling? They're literally right here already. Why do we don't need to do that. Stelsa pauses and blinks as if processing a foreign concept. Right. Sometimes Stels forgets you don't have to put everything on a schedule. Which is fair. School feeding changes a troll. Stelsa pulls up a chair and gestures you for sit down in front of her desk. All that said, while we wait for the meal to arrive, let's get down to brass tacks. What brings you to my lovely abode tonight? Maybe they just wanted to see you. People don't always need a reason beyond that. Actually, you do have a reason, though. Crap. You explain to Stelsa that you have a friend, more accurately a friend-to-be, or perhaps an acquaintance, who perhaps a person of chum adjacent equality, who you would like to impress through the pursuit of personal fitness. You recall that Stelsa was jogging when you met her, so maybe she could help you put together a fitness routine, and you could do some workouts together? Her expression lights up and clasps her hands together. Oh goodness, I would absolutely love that! My poor Zizi is usually far too tired and far too busy. Sometimes I don't know how I manage it myself. So I'd absolutely love to partner to keep a train says yet running on time. No, to keep train says yet running on time. Assuming, of course, you won't be late yourself and can keep up with my pace. Fair warning, it's blistering. Isn't it, though? Thanks, sweetums. You confidently assert that, if nothing else, you can keep pace with her. Your legs have seen a lot of use. Walking, running, fleeing, prostrating yourself before clowns. You know the usual. Excellent. Well, we'll set up some meetings that'll add you to my schedule. My people will call your people, etc., etc. Thanks for visiting. It's been ever so lovely to see you. Toodaloo. She's halfway through shoving you out the door when you remind her that she invited you in for grub loaf. She hastily and apologetically pulls you back inside. Tizzy is snickering in the background. Don't know what I'd do if I didn't have Stels. Someone has to be the energetic one in this quadrant. The contrast is definitely a stark one. Has Tizzy considered quaffing energy drinks here and there? Perhaps they could help her keep her pep up. 1, I'd probably literally die. 2, you don't want to see me on energy drinks. Oh boy, that'd be terrifying, I bet. Nobody does. Fair. You spend a while longer chatting with Tizzius before the delivery arrives and the three of you have dinner together. The grub loaf is exactly as awesome as advertised. A wonderful meal with wonderful friends, the perfect precursor to the fitness montage yet to come. You visit Stelsa multiple days a week, fitting yourself into her incredibly convoluted and packed schedule. The feat doesn't actually prove very hard. You basically only exist to spend time with friends. Her equipment is delightfully free of torture devices. Besides her step machine, she also owns quite a bit of smaller exercise paraphernalia. Aerobics doodads and thingamajigs, yoga mats, jogging outfits. Even one of those huge bouncy exercise balls, which she bans you from using after you accidentally send it careening into a carefully organized stack of books. Stelsa carries herself forward with a peppy, always-on sense of gusto that can be difficult to keep up with, but her bright smile and encouraging attitude do wonders to keep you invested, to convince you that you really can acquire the swolehood you've dreamed of. By the end of the peregrine, you wouldn't exactly call yourself ripped, but your muscles are definitely toned in a way they previously were not. You feel hale and healthy, more energetic than ever, and a bit of an extra pep in your step. Apparently regular exercise makes you feel good? Wild. As you look at yourself in the reflection of an acid puddle, you flex and watch your muscles bulge. Hell yeah, it's time. At least you hope it's time. You climb into your scuttle buggy and prepare to set the autopilot to Nike's place. But something stalls your hand. Some strange sensation has been slowly, surely settling in your stomach, a sense of unease, of dread. Your days of foolish ignorance are long past, and there are places of burgeoning understanding of the universe in which you exist and the harsh laws of which its rules its inhabitants. You have, and you're beginning to fear, made the wrong choice, with all the consequences of which lapse in judgment entails. Will you ever truly befriend Nike, or are you cursed to live, for who knows how long, in a world without her sweet smile to cure your insatiable addiction? Mayhap you need not wonder. Mayhap the time has come to look inside yourself. And know. You are just going to give your chakras one real... Okay, you're going to give your chakras one real mother trucker of a blitzing. It's going to take good music of the highest caliber. Blitzing chakras. Having picked up some meditative tips from Boulder, you navigate your Scuttlebuggy's radio dial to a chromatic buzz station, which currently is playing some soothing ocean sounds. A gentle lap of water meeting the shore, the rhythmic beat of the tide as steady as sweet as any mother's heartbeat. It's interspersed with distant honks and weird animal chittering, of course, which is all still Alternia. Why is everything going black? You bag into your seat, reclining it as far as it can go, and sink into a cushiony softness. Something sharp is poking your rib, but you try to ignore it. You close your eyes and allow the white noise to flood your senses, blocking everything else out. Oh yeah, you're really vibing this right now. Chakra status blitzed to high hell. You imagine causality as a river. Every choice a branch, tributaries upon tributaries, winding ever downward, pooling in lakes of inevitability. The pit of your stomach gnaws. It all ends here, stagnant, bitter water, reeking of death, the ocean ever out of reach, your soul ever yearning for the single solitary estuary among all the ceaseless spillways. You take a deep breath, water laps at your sides and tickle your ears. You are adrift. You feel the gentle bob as you float down the river, hear the rush of the ticking clock. Gravity is time, pulling you ever forward. Which river is this? And does it end? Why are we listening to the opening sound? Okay. To what end does it deliver you? Your breathing slows, then shudders. You feel the rapids approach, the rivers blur, the shift. Your heart whines, misses a beat, a surge of emotion, water streaking down the curve of your cheek. Your lungs ache. Which lungs? Which river? Which you? You try to focus on the water beats at your brows, lashes your arms and legs. Too tired to swim. You try for another deep breath, but nothing comes. With a tumultuous gasp, you sink beneath the surface to the churning darkness below. Here, amidst the battering onslaught, the images come. Whirls of emotion, of sound, of thought, memories best forgotten or never known. Lakes meant to be uncharted. Oh, whoa, hold on to that phone. What is happening? A crack of thunder, rain and tearfall, a single drop of olive, the record skips. Peace through rage. The whirl of the carousel, horses whinny as the calliope sings. The circle takes you. Searching eyes implore you, the puppet strings stretch toward the moon. The flash of a blade, the splay of blood, her strings are cut. Wow. The crackle of energy, the world gone grayscale, eyes deeper than the deepest pit, a shuddering final breath. You are lost, lungs burning, water clogging every inch. You furrow your brow. Think. Find your river. Oh gosh. Coughing, wheezing, a final rattling gasp. Panic seizes you, resounding crack, the stamp of hooves, the ricochet of gunfire, the death of one of thousands. A low, sinister honk. Footfalls, loud and deep, the swing of a club. Blood on the pavement. Dark, acidic smoke. Indistinct voices and crackling intercom, a lurch beneath you, feet thrown out, neon energy crackling green. Choking, desperate, lungs aflame, you focus your will. Where are you? Which are you? Find your river. Piercing eyes, a stern, uncompromising gaze. A singe of acid, crushing spikes. The body is worn to nothing. All for her approval. The puff of exertation, gray muscles... Flex and spirits lighten, a gulp of water, a shine of a smile. Looping tape in mirrors and mind like the infinite. Wow. The tributary splits and you finally drift down your chosen route. Freshwater visions as you float towards the surface. You shrug and start the vehicle punching. Okay. Carefree decisions, scuttling legs and thrum of engine, cityscapes passing by. Stern anger, fist tightly clenched, shaking, barely resistant, Restrained, hope crushed under a rigid foot. A plan poorly conceived. Desperation, madness, friendship at all costs. Whoa, what the heck is happening? Navy blood pooling on the concrete, troll and plan both collapsing, cold hatred in her eyes. Tense footfalls on the pavement, muscles strained to exhaustion, the sun rising over a desperate chase. Importance of hydration. How's she even doing this with only one working leg? Okay, I feel like I'm missing things. Okay. Let's see. How dare you Okay. Shrug the vehicle back, punching a Nike's address, leaning back into your seat. As the sensation of the autopilot takes a hold and the buggy begins to scuttle. How dare you insult me by showing your face again? At times like these, you envy the purple bloods. Well, you envy them quite often, actually. They're got amazing strength, unbelievably beautiful rap gods, and honestly, Fago's starting to grow on you, but right now you just wish that you were a contortionist. These vents are way too tight. See, look how strong you are. You can lift these weights with ease. You could lift something bigger. You'd be happy to demonstrate if you would stop advancing on you with the intent to full Nelson your sorry butt. Ah, my other leg. You're just thankful you managed to snatch your water bottle out of the scuttle buggy she tore it in half. The importance of hydration is ever more evident than you spend hours fleeing in terror. How's she even doing this with only one working leg? Escape, sweet bliss, soon to shatter. Bone and blood, turn to steel. Swallowing your fear, you leap across the tracks moments before the train comes screeching past you. Just behind you, you hear a grunt and then a scream, louder and more agonizing than ever you've heard before. Is this it? After days, is your odyssey at an end? Fruitless assistance, your clothing, your soul stained with blood. No more, no more. I can't disable her cybernetics. They're too intertwined with biology. Get back, she's about to strike, dang it! One more step, one more desperate step, one foot after the other in endless chase. Your palm husk died ages ago, but you've been etching lines into the back to keep track of time. Your nearly 1 year anniversary of, well, you're not sure what to call it. The day you irrevocably ruined your life. The day you fled into the untamed wilds. You could celebrate, but you doubt you'll have time. She can't be far. Drenched in fear and sweat, hidden, but not well enough. You try your best to stifle your ragged, fearful breathing, but you know it's fruitless. Nothing can hide the terrified pounding of your heart to her bionic ears, nor the heat of the blood to her infrared senses. She can find you here. Oh gosh, the curtains fall, one final heartbeat of end of all things. But bump, bump, bump. Nike Borg's searing blue eye flashes in the darkness. There's no hiding. You close your eyes. You emerge from beneath the surface with a gasp, coughing up water. Uh-oh. It's just you, sitting in your scuttle buggy. Gentle white noise still playing on the radio. You take a moment to catch your breath, your heart thumping against your ribcage like it wants to crawl out and beat you senseless for subjecting it to all that horse crap. You okay enough meditation for one day. You think you're just gonna reach over and kinda just set the autopilot to Stelz's house instead of Nike's. Yeah. You have no idea if this will avert or merely delay some horrifying and grisly end or another, but it's better than the alternative. And besides, you really want to get more of that awesome grub loaf. Oh, wow. That was impressive. I think I see why I was starting to get dislikes on that video. I missed a really weird ending. Okay, then. 17 complete. Now we just need to figure out the Barzum and Bailey routes. Basili. I'm just gonna keep calling them the wrong names forever. That's just how it be. I mean, I got all of Lank's routes, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, now I've learned if you go with the whole no effing way approach, you just go around in a circle forever until you're eventually like, fine, going into the house. But let's look at it anyway. Saving. Yeah, no. That's not happening. Didn't you just establish that this place gives you the heebie-jeebies? No, the heebie of jeebies. Plus, there's always the chance that the inhabitant will cull instead of help you. You're sticking to your original plan. Oops, thank you very much. Firmly ignoring the house, you continue on your way. You make a good progress for a while. Your maps app says you're heading in the right direction, except... What the hell? Why are you here again? Did you take a wrong turn somewhere? Whatever, you're not going to dwell on it. Time is running out. You need to get away from this stupid house pronto. Make sure you do it right. This time we'll go left or right. Don't think it fully matters. I'm just going to say right. Okay, you split, breaking into a jog. The scenery flicks past you as you pick up the pace, urgency spurring you on. It's getting even lighter. Won't be long now. What? You check your palm husk again. You're definitely right back where you started, even though just a moment ago your map's GPS put you in a decent distance away. This is ridiculous. Obviously something weird going on, but the sun's just creeping over the horizon. Time's up. Nothing else for it. You make your way towards the house, even though everything inside you is screaming at you to stay away, even though every step you take, your chest tightens and your hands tremble. By the time you reach the door, you're shaking like a leaf. Adrenaline zings through you. You choke on it. You want to run, but you force yourself to keep moving forward. Slow motion race between you and sunrise. At this rate, the sun will make it... Okay, we got this. Crap. Okay. And save. Search for another exit. No, there has to be something else here. Ignoring the voice's instructions, you examine the walls of the corridor instead. Soon enough, you notice something funny about one of the paintings. Its frame seems thicker than the others, which strikes you as somehow suspicious. Feeling through its bottom edge reveals a button. You push it. There's a groaning sound, and a part of the wall folds itself away, revealing a tunnel of some sort. Ha! You knew it. You're so focused on trying to make your escape that you rush through an opening without looking. If you had been more careful, you might have noticed one very important thing. Past this doorway, there is no floor. Your feet meet thin air, sending you pitching downwards. Drat, you think, as you plunge towards a pit of knives beneath you. You'd reached a follower milestone on Chitter the other day, too, and you hadn't gone around to bequeathing it with any of your friends in case something like this happened. Your final regretful thoughts are of your account dusty and abandoned with no one there to continue to update it after you're gone. Game over. Okay. And loading, and loading. Okay, approaching the door. Ancient sins, ancient sins, ancient sins. We keep looping. Screw this. There's one thing you've been doing all wrong, appealing to the twins to let you go. All they seem to care about is torturing you. Of course, simply asking them for your freedom isn't going to work. You'll do things differently this time. If you want to escape, you'll have to go on the offensive. You wake up again. Disembodied voices, bleeding walls, game, check. You head towards the twins' room. Stand back, you yell when they launch into their tirade. You're a weird, scary alien with weird, scary alien superpowers, and you're not afraid to use them. Switch on your phone's torch app, waving it around. You even attempted a terminating roar for added effect. The only superpowers you're aware of is your irresistible charm and a set of truly banging gams, but they don't need to know that. Your gambit works. They don't cower in fear exactly, but they are bamboozled enough for you to look frantically around the room as much as you can with your paltry light source. There, air vent with a loose grill. With a desperate yell, you launch yourself up towards it and crawl inside. The twins, finally aware that this is all just an elaborate ruse, start shouting after you. The twins' indignant voices start to fade as you wriggle deeper into the dusty guts of the house. You can't have very long. It's only a matter of time until the diminutive terrors climb into the vents after you. Or maybe they'll run ahead and cut you off via one of the other rooms the vent's connected to. They must know the layout of this house better than you do. Much to your surprise, though, you re-emerge at one of the outside walls with no trouble. It's dusk, not day, which you mutter a quick thank you to your merciful overlords. From there, it's a simple matter of picking your way down the vines until you get to the bottom. Once your feet touch the ground, you start running. When you cast one last wild glance back over your shoulder, you catch sight of them, your captors, who you successfully hoodwinked. They're standing at the gate, ran front doorway, screaming. You have no idea why they aren't coming after you, but you don't question it, pumping your legs until they're burning. It's a good thing you spent all that time jogging with Stelsa. You've gotten really good at running away from your problems. You stop running once you can't see the house anymore. You're a little surprised that getting away turned out to be that simple, but you know better than to look a gift hoof beast in the squawk gaper. Relief floods you through you in waves. You did it! You got away! You slow down to a leisurely walking pace, pulling out your phone as you go. You have a slew of texts from Skyla, who's been wondering what happened to you ever you never turned up. Her invitation to come over and hang out still stands, though. Oh boy, you can't wait to finally make your way over there and chill with her. You never play favorites among your pals, but you have to admit that you hold a particular fondness for Skyla. Her whole thing, that she always makes sure not to cause you any bodily harm, definitely has its charms. You keep walking, but after a while your stomach starts to sink. It's been a half hour and your surroundings don't look any different. You should be closer to Skyla's neck of the woods by now. It's not until you catch sight of a weathered wall all around with ivy that you realize what's going on. It's the house again. You're still stuck. You're not going to be able to leave its grounds no matter how much you walk. You might have escaped the house, but whatever curse or time-space witchcraft this isn't confined within those walls. You're in a pocket dimension of some sort. Oops. Of some sort, and you don't know how to break out. So now you can either return to the twins, since they're the only company you have out here, or make these bushes your new best friends. You look dolefully out for miles of scraggy underbrush before you. You would probably best get used to gazing at nothing but this, since it's all you're going to be seeing for a long, long time. Forever lost. And that's the end, I think. I don't think there's any other endings for them. So, yeah. We completed Friendsim. All in all, I really like this game. I like the writing styles. Sometimes it was inconsistent, but that's because, hey, how many writers do we have on this thing? Several. Okay. But yeah, some of my favorite routes. Let's take a look at the Friends ones that we figured out. Of course, I really loved, let's see, going down the list. Skyla's route, really liked. I liked Branya's route. Of course, we see Branya so much, so it's really great. Polypa is still one of the best girls in the game, hands down. Hate Zebra with a passion. Elward's route wasn't that bad. I was expecting her to kill us, to be fair. Let's see. Follicle's route was hilarious, and she got us a phone, so that's great. Tizius is one of the best, characters in this. It doesn't matter. I'm not just talking Teal. I'm talking all the characters. Tizius is great. Chixie was fun because I really like the fact that she got the mask on and basically just went out on it. I loved all the references as with Azdaja. I love every single one of the Purple Bloods routes. So I can't even. Just know if it's a Purple Blood route, I love it. Even the twins was kind of fun because they were so small and I love seeing small high bloods. It's just so funny. Zebedee's was interesting, I'll say the least. Same with Tigiri. Oh my goodness. Malik is a cool dude. I see why lots of people are like, yeah, this guy's the best boy. And I understand that. So I put him as best boy. Lanera, I like how she started off as a yandere, but she slowly is becoming more and more of an actual person, especially if depending on which of the lank routes you go with. I love the goat dad, and oh gosh, freaking Gallic is one of the best. I love him, so that's great. I like all the mysteriousness that was going on in Boulder's route, so I really like that. I can't believe that the Dark Carnival is a real thing, but I still have my suspicions, because mannequins, and everybody knows it's fake. It's fake, guys. It has to be. It definitely is. Okay. Wanshi is so adorable, and I love her, especially her warrior cat's, love. It's great. I loved all of volume 16, because Marvis is... Oh, gosh, I just love Marvis so much. And Fozzer was an interesting case. Especially, I love the whole thing that was going on with that. Let's see, Daria's routes were interesting, but I especially loved the good ending, of course. Interesting bad ending, obviously, with Nike. I wish I caught that one sooner. Let's see, I already mentioned I love the twins. And it was really interesting to see Lank and everything going on with that. Though I still think that the terrible ending, where we get his, like, the terrible ending where he, like, totally, like, breaks down Lanera's self-esteem in, like, one giant swoop, I think that's canon, even though I feel bad for Lanera. Anyway, I wonder what Doc Scratch is planning. Why was it necessary for us to befriend all these trolls? Was it necessary in the first place? I guess we'll find out when Friendsim rolls around. Because Joey is no doubt... just Joey and Zephyros, they're his new pawns in this game. And I'm scared to find out what's going to happen. But it looks like we will be finding out what happens eventually. Trailer came out a month or so back, and I'm really excited to see when the game finally releases. Anyway, I need to finish recording this, get to editing this. I still got the Q&A special that I have to work on. That's coming out probably tomorrow, the day after I post this. And lastly, I'm gonna go jumping straight into Pester Quest right after that. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!
Hey there. Consider becoming a patron, just like the phenomenal Bleed Red, Alexander Madeline, and Uranium Coffee.